ChumbaCasino.com and let's Chumba. No purchase necessary. Must be 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A good karma brands radio station.
12 o'clock in the South Atlanta Live Imaging Tuesday is on. We don't usually do this early, but I like it.
No, we had a little miscommunication.
Oh, we did?
Well, Kelsey Plum from the Sparks is going to join us, and Laura's afraid she's going to call at noon. I think she'll call closer to 12:15, so she didn't want to
What if she
chance
called
it.
while we were mid-bit and she heard me like doing the pony dance or something?
That's fine. You know that Kelsey, do you know are you familiar with her?
Yes.
Okay. The old you, like you 3 months ago.
Fat me? Is that what you're saying?
Not fat, but cigar lover.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She joined you in that. She has her own cigar line.
I can't smoke them anymore.
Right, but she can.
That's good for her.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it is Andy Kamenetsky in for Mace. It's Mace vacation week. Did you see that picture?
One of the 10?
One of the 10.
we call that a Mace week.
Yeah. By the way, there was an Instagram post, of course. We'll talk about it in a moment. Let's do it. The biggest show on the radio. Mason and I are in your Tuesday afternoon right now.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So he posted a T-shirt pic, but it's a cutoff T-shirt.
Yeah.
And he made sure to go tricep out so we could see.
Which surprised me because he hasn't been working out.
But his triceps look good. But again, this is another solo.
Wait, is he wearing a half-cut shirt?
No. It's like the old
just
sleeves
sleeveless.
off. Sleeves off.
I mean, he might be wearing a half-cut shirt, but those photos haven't been posted yet. Those could be private.
Between him and Juan.
Maybe.
Well, no, Juan never posts.
That's the thing.
And that's the thing. You the
Well,
only
truly, it's between him and Juan.
Right,
It's
right.
unphotographed.
But Mace is always alone in these photos.
Yeah, Juan doesn't want to post, but Mace would post everything if Juan would let him. He just doesn't let him.
Yeah.
So you get an occasional sleeveless shirt photo there.
But tricep out. He made sure to flex the triceps.
Side note with Juan, as I've been watching these NBA playoffs, you guys can tell me you agree, disagree. I think Juan looks like Chris Finch. I think
Mason's partner?
Yeah,
Yes.
I would go with that.
I think he resembles.
He's
Chris
better looking
Finch.
than Chris
Sure,
Finch.
but they resemble each other. Like because I think Jeff Daniels, Chris Finch, and Juan.
I think
all
Jeff
have a
Daniels
passing
is more
resemblance.
of a match than Chris Finch.
By the way, Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. You'll hear it here on 710 ESPN tonight. Thunder and Timberwolves.
Yeah, and Andy, do you think Ant and SGA will guard each other? I don't, but
I think Ant may guard SGA. I don't think SGA would guard Ant because Ant's too big for him.
I think Caruso or Dort will guard Ant.
I think at times, but I think the flip side of it, Ant will end up, I think, at times on SGA because Ant is a very good defender and he's got a size advantage over
right,
SGA.
and he's a better answer than Mike Conley. Now, the one thing they may do on Luka, they continually put Jared McDaniels, which they might there, but they might put him.
Jaden McDaniels,
thank you. They might put him on SGA.
Yeah, it's certainly possible.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got good defenders on that team.
I actually think Chris, are we carrying the whole series, or it kind of depends what else is going on?
No,
kind
we're
of thing?
carrying. So here's the thing. Everything will be on 710, but at 5:30 when we go to the game on 710 a.m. and on the ESPN tile on the app, guess what continues? Sedano and Cap continues on YouTube and on the Listen Live tile.
How did you talk them into that?
We're just doing it. Well, Craig Karmazin did.
Oh, I figured there had to be someone higher up in the chain involved.
Yes. That's not so much being talked into it as being told you're doing this.
Sounds
like But here's the other thing. As I've told them, because they did a whole bit on this yesterday, if you want to not do it, then don't do it. We've got plenty of people that'll do it.
Right. I'm surprised that card didn't get played.
It did.
Oh.
Yeah.
So someone else is doing it?
Not tonight. It'll be Cappy.
Okay.
But George is leaving the show early because he's got to go work.
Oh, he's working the game. Yeah, so that's why.
So it'll be like Beto, Cap,
yeah,
something like that.
the cast of thousands.
Yes.
The one thing about Kelsey Plum is that I actually think when they traded for her, I thought the Sparks are a year away. Like now they've got her, De'Erica Hamby, Cameron Brink, Rakia Jackson. They now have the makings of a playoff team. After watching their first game, I think they can make the playoffs this year. They got to get healthy.
Okay.
They got to get. And we'll ask Kelsey about that when she calls.
Because they haven't been good for a little while.
5 years in a row.
Yeah.
And Cameron Brink blowing out her knee really hurt.
Right.
But now Cameron doesn't have to be the best player on the team. Kelsey Plum's the best player on the team.
She's off to a really good start so far.
Well, she fouled out of the second game. We'll talk to her about all this. But now they have, if Cameron Brink, because Cameron Brink I think is 22.
Okay.
If she's the best player on your team, that's an awful young ask. I mean, like, think about Kobe. Kobe went to the finals a lot early in his career, but he didn't have to be. He eventually turned into the best player on the team. But as long as he had Shaq with him, he didn't have to worry about that. And now I think with Kelsey Plum here, the Sparks can actually be good.
Let's go, Sparks. Go, Sparks, go. As somebody once said.
Well, I think they said "Go Kings Go," but "Go Sparks Go" works as well.
Unless they got do they have a different catchphrase at the Sparks? We love the Sparks, but do they have a different?
We can ask Kelsey Plum about that.
Is it like sensational Sparks? Yeah.
Workshop that.
I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't great when it came out. It wasn't great.
So I'm guessing the Indiana Fever game is probably already sold out. Are the other games selling out? Do we know?
I can look for you.
Yeah,
Indiana Fever's been sold out for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they sell because Cameron Brink's or not Cameron Brink.
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark is the Pied Piper. Mm-hmm. Everybody follows her.
Absolutely.
So I think
the recent game between Indiana and Chicago just set a WNBA viewing record.
That's amazing.
So what happens is when Caitlin Clark comes to your town, a lot of people are moving the game to bigger venues, bigger arenas, so they can take advantage of getting more sales. That's how big of a difference maker.
According to Front Office Sports, it averaged 2.7 million viewers on ESPN, peaking at 3.1. Most watched WNBA game ever on ESPN, regular season or postseason.
Wow, that's amazing. Good for them. Good for the WNBA.
I wonder, too, if this was the first year ever for me that I was as into the women's tournament as I was the men's tournament.
Absolutely.
Why is that? Because Caitlin Clark wasn't in it. I just think I think it was two reasons. One, USC and UCLA were both number one seeds.
Yes.
So we had local interest. And two, the men have so many one and dones. Other than Cooper Flagg, I didn't know the names of a lot of guys in the tournament.
I didn't know the names of any players in the tournament.
Right.
Other than
I knew
Cooper
more
Flagg.
UCLA women than I did men.
Well, I think there are storylines that form more in women's college basketball because the players stay longer with their teams. I mean, I have no idea how the transfer portal in women's compares to men, but it seems like there's just more stability, more actual plot lines.
UCLA used it. UCLA, and so did USC.
But I don't Juju Watkins is the reason I watched more
right,
college.
But I don't know if there's the same frequency in compare men's versus women's, but I do know that there are more players staying longer with their teams.
I think you've hit on what the whole thing is. It's familiarity. I heard Greg Anthony doing an interview with Evan Cohen this morning on our morning show. And Evan was asking Greg about that, and Greg said, Greg, you played on one of the most famous college teams of all time, that UNLV team. I still remember they had Stacey Ogman, Larry Johnson, Greg Anthony, Anderson Hunt, Jerry Tarkanian was the coach. I can't do that for any men's team now. I can't tell you more than one player that plays for any men's team. And Greg Anthony thought, and I think he's right, exactly what you just pointed out, that because we stayed together, we didn't have a mechanism or a vehicle to leave like after our freshman year. So I think that's where the women have an advantage. But having said that, I think Juju should be able to turn pro whenever she wants.
Absolutely.
Right now, she doesn't have a mechanism to do that.
I mean, look, the good news is for a lot of these women, even with that rule, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, in the NIL era, they can actually potentially make more money still in school than turning pro. So they have options now in front of them that they didn't have before.
Well, especially in college football. Like, think about college football. Shedeur might have to take a pay cut. Caleb, I think, probably took a pay cut when he went from USC to the Bears. I think Caleb got $5 million for the 2 years he played at USC. Did he make more than $2.5 million his first year with the Bears? I think he probably did the number one pick.
As a number one overall pick,
yeah,
absolutely.
But I mean, now you got to think about it. Now you got to think about whether or not you want to turn pro.
Well, just before, the women couldn't make any money in college, period. So these players now, again, whether you agree with that rule or don't agree with it, at least these women have the opportunity now to license their name and, work their brand and actually have something that comes from it while they stay in college longer.
It'll be interesting, too, to see, for example, you went to USC.
Yeah.
One of the things we're going to talk about later today is Lincoln Riley and scheduling and all that stuff. But I'm surprised. USC, one thing you know from your days as a Trojan, and we carried the Trojans here, is there's a running joke. I went to UCLA.
You stinking Bruin.
And there's a running joke that my USC friends say, but I have to admit there's a little bit of truth to it. You're a Bruin for 4 years. You're a Trojan for life.
Yes.
USC alums take care of other USC alums. They always have. If I call somebody that's running a company and say, hey, I'm like you, I'm a UCLA grad, they'll say, so? Right. But if USC says you went to USC, oh, really? When were you there? What'd you do? Blah,
That's
blah, blah.
why I tell people I was in biology class with Keyshawn. That's how we became friends. And people they just believe it.
And the thing that's unbelievable about that is that Key actually signing up for a biology class, I don't think happened.
True story. I had a sculpture class with Todd Marinovich.
What was he sculpting?
And didn't he like later in life, didn't he become an artist?
Yeah, actually, he was super talented in class when we had him.
All right. Without further ado, we welcome to the program the one and only Kelsey Plum. If you haven't seen Kelsey play yet, you're missing it. This girl is as exciting of a player as we've ever had in women's basketball in Los Angeles, and now she's on the Sparks. Kelsey, thank you for doing this. We really appreciate it. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, well, we appreciate you coming on. So I was telling Andy earlier that you've been through this before. When you used to play for the Aces and you won a couple of championships there, but when you got to the Aces, they're not the Aces that we see now. They're not like this juggernaut team. When you were there, you had to build something. So you've run this race before, the one that you're running. I would argue, Kelsey, that on the Sparks, I think you're a little ahead of schedule. You just got to get healthy. I think that if Cameron Brink gets healthy, I know you love De'Erica Hamby. I think if she stays healthy, I think Rickea Jackson stays healthy. I think you're a little ahead of the curve. Do you agree with me on that?
I love your perspective. Absolutely. You know, even playing Minnesota for our home opener, you know, that's arguably one of the best teams, best defensive team in the league, and we're pretty much tied going into the fourth quarter. You know, this is a brand new coach, brand new system. And like you said, we have a ton of young talent, young pieces. It took us 4 years in Vegas to get to the playoffs. So this is very exciting. And yes, I agree. We're ahead of schedule.
Not to in any way imply that you're unhappy with having been traded, but was the trade in and of itself a surprise to you? Like, had you pictured yourself as a lifer with one franchise before it happened?
No, I asked for it. Asked for it, and I got the opportunity to really pick where I wanted to go. And, you know, it was something that for me, I just wanted to go with a place that had a vision for what was to come, and a vision for, you know, how I could fit in that and be a leader in the franchise. And, you know, I'm fond of taking places that aren't necessarily great on paper and turning them into something great. I did that at Washington. And then also in Vegas with my teammates. And so I really like being the underdog, and this was definitely something that I chose, and I'm really grateful to be here in L.A.
So, I mean, is it safe to say that there was an idea that the Sparks presented a challenge to you that you wanted to meet and overcome?
Absolutely. I mean, I remember when, you know, I told my my family that I was going to Los Angeles. They were like, really? Because no disrespect, but, you know, last place for the last couple of years, you know, really had a poor reputation in terms of how things went infrastructure-wise. And, you know, I think to me that's what made it so sexy. It was like, hey, this is exactly what I want. I want an opportunity to be able to change, you know, a reputation, culture, who we are in L.A. And I think for me, being a SoCal kid, just having a lot of pride and coming home and doing that as close to home as, you know, possible. And I do really believe in what they're building here. They've done a tremendous job even before I got here, like laying a lot of groundwork. And so it was kind of a perfect match because they also were very much like, hey, we're going to get her. And so it was just a time for me professionally and personally to make a transition in my life. And I jumped.
I love it, Kelsey. And you could tell right from the start in the Golden State game that it's a whole new there's a new sheriff in town. It's a whole new ball game now that you're here. And as I watch you play, and I noticed this when you were playing for the Aces, I'm one of the Laker announcers, so I watch basketball all the time. I can't find a weakness in your game. You're great offensively. You're a great passer. You use your fouls. You play defense. But I've also heard you talk about how you love to try and get better, and you're always working towards improving. How do you think you can improve? Like at practice these days, what are you working on? Because I don't see a weakness in your game.
I appreciate that. I worked really hard to try to become a complete player. I think when I first came into the league, I was known as just a scorer. And then as the years go on, try to be a little bit better of a facilitator. And then defensively, just didn't want to be that white girl out there that's a liability. So I was like, that's not going to be me. That's just not going to be me. And so I just really tried to be intentional, building my strength, building my endurance, physicality-wise too, because I am smaller. So I'm going to have to be very physical. And, for me right now, I think I'm just continuing to be more as efficient as I possibly can. I know on this team I'm going to be asked to carry a heavy load and take some tough shots and create a lot of offense. And so just trying to be super creative in practice, manipulating screens, defenses. And the biggest thing for me is getting to the rack, trying to get to the rack and make great decisions in the paint. I feel like I can always continue to get better at that and just continue to read defenses and give my teammates great looks.
I don't know, man. I thought you were pretty good at it already, but that's a great answer. I was trying to figure out, have you ever played on the same team as Cameron Brink? I know you've played against her last year before she blew out her knee. Have you guys ever played together?
Never played on the same team as Cam, but I remember last year we played L.A. early in the season in Vegas. It was my first experience with Cam in a game. And Cameron closes the gap as good as I've ever seen a post player close the gap. And I was like, whoa, this is as good as advertised. I felt that feeling. I remember because I love to live in there. And I was just like, she's here. She's always here. So it was really cool to see her, as a young post player, wow, that is talent right there.
I also love her energy, Kelsey. We had her on last year during the season before she blew out her knee. And, she immediately bonded with Dearica Hamby. I know you did, too. This is your second stint with Dearica. But it seems to me that your skill set and Cameron's skill set are perfect together. She defends and rebounds. You score and pass. Have you thought about that your games appear to I know you haven't had a lot of time yet because she's got to get her knee up to speed, but it seems to me that that's a pretty good fit. That's a LeBron, Anthony Davis kind of fit, don't you think?
I love that. Absolutely. Cam is a very unique talent. And so, in this league, I think I said it earlier, when I first got introduced to LA in a press conference, your bigs are going to take you places. A lot of times guards, we kind of cancel each other out, but your bigs are going to take you places. When you have versatile bigs like Cam and Dearica that can run the floor, that are skilled, like you said, can block shots, defend the paint, can switch out on guards. That's really tough. And so I'm really excited. Cam's obviously in her rehab process getting back, and she's working really hard. So when she does come back and she's ready, it's going to be great for us.
Speaking of you and Cameron, you both seem at least very comfortable being in front of the camera, putting your personalities out there. And this is a time in the WNBA where the league is really getting a lot of increased attention, coverage, opportunities. Just a really good time for women's sports in general. What's it like for you to having been part of the league, where it is now, where you first entered, and just this transformation?
Yeah, it's funny. When I was our first game against Golden State, we're staying at the St. Regis, and I'm just laughing because I'm like, hey, kids, it wasn't always like this. I'm glad that, us John the Baptist had to die so Jesus could live. I'm really happy for y'all. But no, I'm excited. I'm excited where the W is, and like you said, there's so many opportunities. Right now, particularly in the WNBA, whether it's the tunnel fits or the commercials, or it's some of the most exciting thing in sports right now. And it's really cool to be a part of that and continue to grow the game. We have a interesting CBA opportunity coming up this next summer that's going to be profound. It's really going to change women's sports as we know it and, set a new tone. So it's very exciting to be a part of that because there's been a lot of women that paved the way and gave us this opportunity.
Kelsey Plum is our guest, who is the new star of the Sparks, and the Sparks only played 2 games. They're 1-1. Kelsey lit up the scoreboard in the first game, fouled out in the second game. I blame the refs. Kelsey, I wanted to ask
Me
you.
too.
Yeah, good. You've won a lot of stuff. You've got 2 WNBA championships. You've got 2 Olympic gold medals, 1 in 3-on-3, 1 in the regular basketball. When you got out of college, you were the leading scorer until Caitlin Clark came and knocked you off that perch. But I'm just curious, what's your proudest accomplishment so far? I mean, you're still playing. You got a lot of years left. But what are you most proud of so far?
Ooh, that's a great question. Honestly, I think I'm most proud of maintaining my integrity in just the madness of this world.
I don't blame you.
I think for me, like, you know, there's been a lot of ups and downs in my life, and I'm just proud that just always come back and respond with a smile. That's just kind of how I was raised. That's how my parents always, you know, demonstrated their behavior. And I think for me, the accomplishments and accolades are great, but I want to leave an impact in terms of like how you treat people, how you make people feel, and I try to do that every day. So that's what I'm most proud of.
I was going through Wikipedia, and my apologies if Wikipedia is incorrect.
Often is.
Right, but with your family background, I was reading that your mom played volleyball for UC Davis. Your dad played college football and baseball at San Diego State. You have 2 older sisters who played volleyball, one at the USA Volleyball Junior National
Sounds like
team.
it gets a little competitive around Thanksgiving.
Whoa. I'm not even done yet. Younger brother played football at UC Davis, which is just insane in terms of athletic genes, prowess in a family. Like, where do you rank athletically in your family? Like, are you in the top half? Like, where do you
You
shake
better
out?
say number 1.
You know, it's so funny. I try to tell people all the time, I'm like, you guys realize I'm the most normal and least competitive person in my family. Like, the most normal, least competitive, probably the quietest. And people are like, no. And then you hang around my family, it's like a bunch of chimpanzees, like just freaking in the jungle madness, you know? But no, I'm super proud. You know, I think when you're raised in that type of environment, the thing you take away most is like nothing in this life is given. Like, you go out there and take it. And so that's how I play. I always try to play like I'm shot out of a cannon. And I think that kind of just permeates everything you do, right? So I would say athletically, I mean, I probably am like the most mediocre in my family.
Unbelievable. Yeah, that is, I mean, and you know, you look at those accomplishments and you can see where it came from. Well, Kelsey, I'm sure you can tell we are the presidents of the Kelsey Plum fan club. We are so glad you're here. And by the way, Kelsey mentioned that she's a Southern California kid. She grew up in Poway in North San Diego County, where one of my best friends from college, shout out Mark Hartney, grew up. So I wanted to give a little love to Poway. Most people don't know where it is, Kelsey, as you know.
Well, they do now.
Yeah,
Let's go.
They do now. But hey, we hope you'll come back. But most of all, we wanted to let you know we're really glad you're here. It's a completely different vibe now that you play for the Sparks. Can't wait for Cam to get better so you guys can do your thing together. But thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys having me. Let's get in the studio next time.
Do it. Yeah, we'll plan it. Thanks, Kelsey. Have a great day. There
right,
is
thanks, guys.
Kelsey Plum from the Sparks. Have you seen her play, Andy?
Yeah.
Okay. She is, I'm trying to think of what, I don't mean to say that she has these faults because, as you know, I'm a big Russell Westbrook guy, but she reminds me of Russ because of how hard she plays. You know, she uses all her fouls. She's India. You can't watch Kelsey Plum play basketball and not realize she's on the court. Like, you hear people get like 0-0-0. Like people get criticized that they were in a game for 40 minutes and they got no stats. Never happens with her.
I will say, and it was obvious when I asked her this question, I did not realize that she had requested the trade from Vegas specifically to the Sparks, specifically with the idea of, I want to help elevate this franchise back to where it had been. I know that they're not great right now. That's why I want to go. That's awesome.
She talked about a life reset. I didn't want to put her on the spot, so I didn't bring this up. But she was married to Darren Waller, the Raiders tight end. They met in Vegas. It was, the marriage didn't take for whatever reason.
Yes.
They broke up after a year.
It was a very public, high-profile thing.
Right, and so that's what she was talking about when she said, I've had a lot of challenges already in my life. And she also had an injury that kept her out for an entire season.
But still, she could have chosen to try to go somewhere that was a front runner to maintain the winning that she had in Vegas. And she specifically said, I wanted to go somewhere where there's the challenge of bringing a team back up. I just think that's really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and we thank her and the Sparks for getting her on, and we encourage you to go watch them play because she is something else. And when they get Cameron Brink, I love Cameron Brink. Have you by chance seen a picture of Cameron Brink and her fiance?
Not with the fiance.
Google it.
Okay.
This might be. This is going to sound weird. Laura, have you seen them?
Yeah, they're
This might be the
couple.
best looking couple I've ever seen.
Let's take
They're
a
good
look.
looking couple.
They are. They look like if I had a clothing line, I would hire both of them.
Okay.
To basically put on everything I was selling, and it would sell that.
Here's
way.
the thing: if they're going to be aesthetically a couple that you respond to, you have to be okay with one of those couples that look like they could be brother and sister. Because they actually do look like they could be related.
They are a great looking couple.
Come on,
I'll
Andy.
tell you that.
Now I'm going to have that in my head.
There's nothing wrong with. I'm not implying they are related.
No,
obviously.
they're definitely probably not.
No. There's no probably, Laura.
Yeah,
they're
just
not.
saying.
No, Laura. I am willing to recklessly speculate and declare
they are not
related, but they look like a brother. They look one of those brother and sister couples.
They're just good-looking people.
Yes.
And when Cameron gets in there, by the way, if you don't know who Cameron is, she's the one. If you watch all those New Balance commercials during the playoffs, she's the one woman that when Kawhi passes the ball to Tyrese Maxey, to Jamal Murray, to Cooper Flagg, to all those guys.
Yeah.
It is Cameron's the woman.
And she also...
The weird thing about that, Andy, both of her parents have worked for Nike for 25 years. Can you believe New Balance stole her away?
I mean, you could say that there's something like Oedipal psychological tearing away from the family, but she and Kelsey Plum both have really, I think, big, fun personalities, which is great for a team like the Sparks and their traditions, stuff like that. It's cool.
Little known fact, Cameron Brink's mom and Steph Curry's mom were college roommates at Virginia Tech, and she's best friends with Seidel Curry, the one married to Damian Lee, and they do a podcast together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's known Steph since she was 5 or 6 years old.
Wow.
So she's had a good coaching, for most of her life. All right, coming up next, we'll get back into the show. I'm going to put it this way, Dodger fans. If Mason were here, he would say, all is well. Remain calm. They've lost 4 in a row at home, and they have 17 injured pitchers. At what point are you allowed to say, I'm a little worried? If I asked Mason, I'd say scale of 1 to 10, he'd say 0. We'll see what Andy says next. Mason in Ireland, ESPN LA.
You never have to miss a moment of LA's mega sports station. Get the all-new ESPN LA app.
Just search ESPN LA in your App Store or Google Play.
Download, tap, and bam!
You got 710 ESPN in the palm of your hand.
Do you know a high school senior who's a true all-star on the field, in the classroom, and in the community? ESPN LA, along with Rotolo Chevrolet and Capozio Buick GMC, is proud to present the All-Star Student Program. We're honoring 5 incredible seniors with a $500 scholarship and an exclusive VIP experience at ESPN LA's All-Star Friday night. Nominate your standout student today at ESPNLA.com. ESPN LA All-Star Student, brought to you by Rotolo Chevrolet, the #1 Chevy dealer in the West region once again. Come see what all the fun is about.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. In the market for new flooring? Why pay more at big box stores? At Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, every day is a deal.
It's our sauce.
No gimmicks.
Our sauces
Call
are more flavorful for you.
866-62-FLOOR.
From sweet and
Visit
spicy
them online
to
at
fiery hot.
HernandezWholesaleFlooring.net.
It's
no
unexpected.
sale beats
It's
wholesale.
delicious. It's saucy.
As a rideshare
It's
driver,
for
I
you.
love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for...
Hey guys, double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino, 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the Players Reward Desk, and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats. So lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at ESPNLA.com.
Hey, it's Travis. Join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their one-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Harin, Peter O'Malley, and more. Giveaways in the amazing art of Dave Hobrick. Purchase your tickets for meet and greets at legendsattic.com. We'll see you Friday, May 30th at Legends Attic in Claremont.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill? It's just better for you. Download the Waba Rewards app or order online at wabagrill.com. Waba Grill, it's for you. And a value-sized premium beverage drink like our creamy and delicious Thai tea. Waba Grill, keeping it real every day for you.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Winning matters, especially after an accident. At calljacob.com, we're here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB.
12:31 on a Live Imaging Tuesday. You know we play Yacht Rock on a Tuesday. Andy Kamenetsky sitting in for Mace. Our friends from Pro Brawler, John, were just in here.
Jeff and Brady, yeah. Great to see those guys. They gave us the left. It's a case of Pro Brawler. If you're watching on YouTube, they have it in the Lakers can. This is an energy drink, Chris, but without the crash.
I love that. And you know, we talk about the most important offseason of the Los Angeles Lakers is right now, Jack. And it's all made possible when you hear us talk Lakers every day on 710. Made possible by our friends at Pro Brawler, the official energy drink of the Los Angeles Lakers.
We will get into the Lakers a little bit later in the show. But, Chris, weigh in on this as well as Andy. The Dodgers have lost 4
It's not good.
home games in a row.
Not good.
They have used their bullpen, Andy.
Especially when you get swept by the Angels.
Swept by the Angels for the first time in 15 years.
At home, yeah.
Last night, they fall behind 7-0. I'm not saying I wouldn't pick the Dodgers in any playoff series if it started today. But at what point, if Mason were here, he would say, all is well. Remain calm.
Oh,
at what point are we allowed to
What if the
worry,
Diamondbacks keep
Andy,
winning?
a little?
I would worry more if it were August.
Thank
and
you.
It felt like, well, not just because there's more season to play, but the idea that this is actually the team that you're going to be competing with. Let me give you a list of the pitchers currently on the IL right now.
Here we go with this.
Kopech, Gratterall, Yates, Snell, Trinan, Sasaki, Phillips, Stone, Grove, even a bit player last year, Emmett Sheehan. There is somebody, I don't even know who this guy is, but there's somebody on the injured list named Kyle Hurt. And that's just like the joke that writes itself. The guy named Hurt is actually hurt.
Yeah.
This is not the Dodgers. Like, these are not actually the Dodgers that are losing games right now.
All right, now let me give you the other side of that. They still have one of the best records in baseball. They're in first place in their division. They, even with the 4 straight losses at home, have a fantastic home record. Brian, on a scale of 1 to 10, your level of worry is what as a Dodger fan?
I'd say like a 3. Yeah,
Mason would say 0. Laura, what's yours?
About a 1.5.
See, Chris, mine's a 4.
Mine's a 10.
What? No, it's not. Shut up.
Mine's a 10.
No, it's not.
Andy, scale of 1 to 10.
About a 2.
Okay, so nobody. Chris, you and I are the sky is falling guys.
You have Ohtani and you can't beat the Angels?
And he homers every game. He did it again last night.
The team
Leads
we
the
put
major
out on
leagues in-
on All-Star Friday night on July 11th, they will be able to beat the Angels. Those scumbags.
I think Dave,
They're number one.
As Dave Roberts said when he was on our show Friday.
Did you ask him about sending me the bobblehead?
No, I'm not going to ask him to send us
But
a
he
bobblehead
knows who
so
I am.
you can destroy it.
Now, he doesn't know my name specifically, but he referenced me to Cap. He is, the guy who doesn't like me.
Yeah. Which is insane. What else does he have? He goes to the playoffs every single year.
If they choke again, if they don't make the playoffs, we're breaking a bobblehead.
If they don't go to the playoffs, Dave Roberts is fine. He's been to the World Series 3
Well, he's
times in
definitely
the
fine.
last
He just
5
got an
years.
extension. He's
yeah,
totally
yeah,
fine.
he's fine. That's fine. Bobbleheads to be busted for years to come.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask him for a bobblehead so you can destroy it.
How was Mace during the interview? I had a doctor's
During-
appointment, so I couldn't hear the
the
interview.
Dave Roberts interview?
Was he was he really kissing
Mason,
the ass?
No, Mason.
Like, oh, Dave, I love you so much.
Mason feels like the Dodgers are going to win. Still, if you put Mason on a lie detector, he thinks the Dodgers are going to win 115 games.
I mean, to the point about you have Ohtani.
Brian,
you
are you sticking with your absurd number? What number are you?
118. I think they'll break the record. And yeah, they just got to get a couple
really?
arms healthy. Yeah, they're that good. They're still like second best record in baseball, and they barely played well at
You
all.
go work for Fred Rogan with that kind of talk.
He's the only sane one in here right now.
I mean, the problem, again, I listed all those pitchers on the injured list against the Angels. They gave up 6 runs. They gave up 11 runs. They gave up 6 again.
Andy,
they gave
last
up
night
9
it was
to the Diamondbacks.
7-0. I was watching Jon Stewart. He hosts the Daily Show on Monday
Yes,
night, so I
yes.
always try and catch that. By the time Jon Stewart was done, they were down 7-0.
Right, but that's my point. Like
Against the Diamondbacks.
But unless you're expecting Ohtani,
Diamondbacks aren't bad.
Unless
they're not amazing. They're not better than the Dodgers, we thought.
Well, they might
they're
be a
better than
playoff
the
team,
Dodgers
though.
when they don't have a pitching staff. I mean, that's the issue. The reasons that they're struggling now make sense. So that's why I'm not worried about it. There's nothing that's going badly for the Dodgers right now that feels like a surprise. If you're working with your B and C list rotation, you're not going to be as good.
Well, tonight it's Yamamoto. So this is a good test for Yamamoto. He's in the running for the Cy Young Award. If you are an ace, a Cy Young Award type player, you stop the slide tonight, don't you?
You have to. Or else
Yeah.
it's 5 straight. And then we're talking about them now winning 100 games, Brian Cohen.
I think they're going to win 100
they'll crack
games.
that easy.
Yes.
We'll see.
It'll
But
happen.
Chris has a
Take it
point
to
if
the
their
bank.
injuries are sustained this way. I mean, you can't have this many pitching injuries and not be affected.
But I also said the Rams have to go 13-4 this season or it's a bust. So
Well,
you know,
Maurice Jones-Drew picked him to go 15-2.
I don't think that's so off. Based
I
on
do.
that schedule?
I do. I think they're going to finish 11-7 and make the playoffs.
If they lose 7 games with that
Or
schedule.
it'd be 11-6, wouldn't it?
11-6.
So your losses are, I know we're switching here, but what? Eagles, Ravens. You lose Cardinal. You lose 1 to the Niners, 1 to the Seahawks, 1 to the Cardinals. You're 5.
Right. And then one you don't see coming.
Tampa Bay or the Panthers?
Yeah, no,
Saints?
probably not there, but
I mean, here's the thing. You could lose one game honestly to the Cardinals, and then you could end up losing the last game because it's the last game of the season. If you're already in the playoffs, you may be sitting
they
everyone
played
anyway.
Detroit too, Chris.
That's true. So Travis really thinks they're not going to win that Lions game. I think the
Where is
Lions.
it?
It's here. I think they're going to. I'm pretty sure it's here. Check me on that, maybe. But I think the Lions are going to be shook this season because of how they went out last season. You don't have Ben
Lost
Johnson.
both coordinators.
Yeah.
They lost. Aaron Glenn is now the head coach of the Jets,
Yeah.
and Ben Johnson's now the head coach of the Lions. So Dan Campbell is going to be put to the test.
That game
Will he
is
be
at SoFi.
exposed?
That game is at SoFi.
It's here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be exposure. You ready, Andy, for a little exposure?
You're always ready for exposure.
I am. I don't mind it. By the way, we should tell the pro baller guys that could be an ad campaign. Me naked, just holding the pro baller can.
That is a horrible idea.
What?
Well,
the you naked part is
Yes.
horrible.
Like, imagine this.
No.
Just why? See, if you
pro
said
baller can's there.
if you said LeBron was doing that, maybe.
Well,
But
I'd pay for that.
Well, your new body would make it less offensive.
Exactly.
Well, I
you
was gonna
complimented
say-
me yesterday for
Yeah.
the first time in years.
We've
That's
missed
true.
the opportunity. You should have been thinking about this before and after.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Like, because the before thing would have been shocking.
Because
but the
I think
after
I
now-
told Brady from Pro Baller when he was in the suite how I almost died. 12:38, by the way. But I almost died.
Andy hit it at 11:59 too.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
By the way, this is the best looking drink can I
It
think
is.
I've ever
It's very
seen.
sleek.
It is.
It's all in Laker colors with the Laker logo on it.
It's good looking,
You know,
man.
here's the thing, Andy. I actually, one of these cans will remain in my house unopened because I'm afraid if you open it, I can't put it on a shelf to display it if I drink it. So I'm just going to leave it.
Well, I feel like you've got access to 2 cans. Like you
There you
actually
go.
take one home and drink it, the other's a display.
There you
They
go.
left me with a case for some reason. Why they chose me, who knows?
All right. By the way, I get to talk about Pro Baller right here. But first, let
Maybe
me
it's
tell
the
you,
campaign.
as part of Live Imaging Tuesday, that we're going to spin the wheel of questions next. And Laura's got something coming for us. But since we're talking about Pro Baller, Jeff and Brady were just in here, and they brought us a whole bunch of Pro Baller. Pro Baller is the official energy drink of the Lakers. It's natural. It's a healthy alternative to those, the ones I'm talking about, those synthetic high crash energy drink. Pro Baller's packed with ultra premium ingredients like organic agave nectar, electrolytes, biotin, essential B vitamins, plus, and here's the good part, delivers 102 milligrams of natural caffeine to keep you energized without the crash. It helps with fatigue, boosts focus, supports your immune system, improves performance and stamina naturally. And right now you can get this can, this Laker can, and it's available and looks great, tastes even better, keeps you locked in longer. Pro Baller's available at Costco, select convenience stores, and online at Amazon. Pro Baller Energy, the official energy drink of the Lakers. Wheel of Questions next, ESPN LA.
Looking for all things black and gold? Tap into LAFC Plus, hosted by Dave Denholm and Mario Ruiz.
This is LAFC Plus. He's Mario Ruiz. I'm Dave Denholm.
React to the latest match. Get ready for the upcoming game. Get exclusive interviews. Plus, a look around the rest of the MLS.
This is what LA is about. Not just being in the big games, but also winning.
New episodes of LAFC Plus drop weekly. Available everywhere you get your podcasts and on the ESPN LA app.
Every great team has its core players.
Hey, it's Travis. Join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their 1-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Harin, Peter O'Malley, and more. Giveaways in the amazing art of Dave Hobrick. Purchase your tickets for meet and greets at legendsattic.com. We'll see you Friday, May 30th at Legends Attic in Claremont.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill?
It's just better for you.
Download the Waba Rewards app or order online at wabagrill.com. Waba Grill, it's for you.
And a passion for helping people, Avner and his family take the call themselves. So whether you have a toilet overflow, a broken water line, a burst supply line, a broken fire sprinkler, whatever the water damage is, you call Avner Gat today at 818-917-5256, or you go to avnergat.com. It's 818-917-5256 or avnergat.com. You call, Avner answers, he says hello. Your claim is our game. avnergat.com.
This just in. The NFL schedule has dropped, and you know what that means. It's go time. Adam Schefter here with the Insider Tip. If you're trying to catch your team live this season, Vivid Seats is the move. For the best selection of games and seats, it's time to snap your tickets up now. Vivid Seats has great deals on great seats and the only rewards program in the game. It's no wonder they're the official ticketing partner of ESPN. So don't wait. Head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in those game days.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Yes, from the movie Caddyshack, a live imaging Tuesday with Mason and Ireland. Andy sitting in for Mace. Kenny Loggins, Andy. Kenny Loggins. I know you know that.
You don't have to tell me.
I know.
Saints of Yacht Rock.
Yes. By the way, we're doing our first ever blackjack tournament. Double
I
down.
I did a read for this. Cappy's doing it, right?
Yeah, double down with Cappy at the $10,000 blackjack tournament, June 6th at Park West Bicycle Casino. Sedano and Cap will broadcast live from 3 to 6 p.m. Then you can get on that felt table, and play blackjack with Cappy. Maybe he'll be clothed. Maybe he won't be. Check in for the tournament. Say double down with Cappy at the player rewards desk for free entry into the tournament, or reserve your spot right now at ESPNLA.com. Imagine if Cappy goes shirtless at the Park West Bicycle Casino. Just lets it all hang out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, knowing Cappy, that's exactly what he will do.
If Rachel lets him.
Yeah.
Cap, you're an idiot. Oh, hey, Rachel, settle down.
Chris, what's it time for?
It is time to spin that wheel of questions. The man's got a giant wheel, and he doesn't mind showing you. Producer Brian Cohen, spin that wheel, sucker.
Yeah.
That's a dumbass question.
Maybe. All right, guys. Actually, I feel like this one landed perfectly for John Ireland.
Good.
Marjorie Harris had something to say, and I want you guys.
Who's Marjorie Harris?
The owner of the Washington Commanders.
Okay.
If it will let me play.
That's
We have so much to look forward to. And look, the Commanders are America's team. And so what better place to have the NFL draft than in the mall?
John, you are now a Commanders fan.
Yeah.
According to you.
Yeah.
Do you really believe that it is America's team?
I don't know if I go that far. I think the Cowboys kind of have that market cornered. But, Andy, I do think that having the NFL draft in the National Mall is a great frickin' idea. I think it is going to be, if you look at the draft when they moved it to Nashville, wherever they have it, Nashville, Chicago, Green Bay, wherever it's been a huge hit. Yep. They're going to be able to jam so many people into that National Mall. I think it's going to be great.
Well, that statement from Marjorie Harris was a direct shot at a divisional rival.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cowboys are in the same division as the Commanders, long time rivalry. The Commanders are a team on the rise. The Cowboys are a team that is in constant flux and disappointment. I'm married to a diehard Cowboys fan, and she is constantly disappointed. So they are definitely
Does
taking
she have a
it.
Dak jersey?
A Dak? She does not have a Dak jersey. She does have an Emmett jersey, though.
Well, that's when they were good.
I
Dak
know.
has destroyed any future the team has.
If you ask her, it all began with Romo. Like, Romo was the beginning of the franchise.
It all began
falling down.
with Jerry firing Jimmy, but okay.
Yeah, Jerry is the ultimate
Yes.
overseer
Yeah.
of the downfall.
Yeah.
Like, this is a real
But I'll go with the Romo thing.
This is
I
a
think
real
that-
years ago, she actually called into the Mason and Ireland show I was on instead of John with Mace, and she called in and for like 5 uninterrupted moments went nuts on Romo. Remember when people were losing their minds because he went on that trip with Jessica Simpson?
Yes.
And everyone thought he should be more focused. She was among those who
In
thought.
hindsight, he should have been more focused.
Yes, he should. She was right. My wife was right.
Yeah, but he still got paid by CBS.
Yes, he did.
It still is being paid by CBS.
That's true, yes, yeah.
Millions. All right. We got Sports Graffiti coming up at the top of the hour. Andy, before we get to that, now that the NBA season is down to a Final Four, a lot of people are making up fake trades. Okay? This one comes from USA Today. All right? I want you to tell me who says no to this trade or who wins this trade, okay? Sixers send Paul George and the number 3 pick to Phoenix for Kevin Durant.
I think Phoenix wins because they're likely to lose Kevin Durant anyway.
Paul George has 3 years, $160 million left on his deal.
I don't know. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I think nobody wins that trade. I mean, really, because if I'm Philly and I'm traded for Kevin Durant, I'm not confident that he's going to sign an extension to stay there. And even then, until you have confidence that Joel Embiid can get through an entire season, you're basically just Kevin Durant and Tyrese Maxey flailing about. I'm not sure anybody wins that trade. I guess Philly wins just because you get off Paul George's bad contract, but I don't know if anybody truly wins that scenario.
All right, I got another one for you guys. I listened to Bill Simmons and Ryan, especially when he has Ryan Russillo on. I love those guys. They have come up with a blockbuster that makes zero sense to me. And again, I'm a big fan of both of them. Here's Bill and Ryan on Bill's podcast from a couple of days ago. Listen to this.
Mobley for Giannis, straight up. What do you think? Straight up. He's 6.5 years younger. Call it in right now.
Done.
You're done if you're Milwaukee. I think I'm done if I'm Cleveland, too. I think I'm doing it. I think it's a great trade. I guess the question for Cleveland is, do you overreact to what happened in those playoffs? Or do you say, Garland was hurt. Mobley missed game 2. The series got away from us. We're still really good. We won 64 games. Counter would be you could have a team that has Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, and Giannis on it in a weakened East. And I think you're immediately the favorites in the East.
I realize I'm losing the trade on talent out for talent in and wondering, okay, even the best version of Mobley, it's likely he's not going to be finishing top 5 in the MVP race 5 years in a row. Comparing Mobley to the rest of the potential make-believe stuff that we're doing here, it's better than maybe even a Men Thompson. It's better than the number 2 pick or the number 3 pick.
All right. A couple of reasons why I don't like this trade for Milwaukee. They're underrating Giannis. Yes. Giannis is one of the greatest players ever, and he's only 30.
And he won you a title, which does matter.
Right. And if you put him on a team with Donovan Mitchell, and, I think they would, well, number one, they'd have to send more than Evan Mobley just to make the numbers work. But Mobley for Giannis straight up?
I mean,
come on.
That's like giving Luka for...
Yeah, that is. That's like trading Luka for AD.
Here's where I think, though, Russillo hit the nail on the head. In terms of just a talent swap, like a pure talent swap, Evan Mobley's not as good as Giannis, but he's really good. I mean, he's likely to be second-team All-NBA this season. He's young. If you think this season represents it all clicked and he's going to get better from there, he might be the best player return in terms of established talent right now.
And if
you
that's
will
the
get
case,
back.
why would you give him up if you're Cleveland for Giannis, whose best days might be behind him?
Because you feel like you can win a championship right now, and you've got...
I would make, if the Cleveland did that deal, Chris, I would make Cleveland the favorites.
And
I think a lot of people would. I guess maybe, but...
Because you get Giannis's best 2 remaining prime years under contract. I mean, that's one thing I think people need to realize when they talk about all this Giannis speculation and whatever. He's under contract for another 2 seasons, then as a player option, which is part of why I think Milwaukee's going to have a lot of... I mean, they're going to have a lot of suitors because it's Giannis, but I think they will have a lot of teams willing to make a trade, whether they are on Giannis's list or not, because... I don't care if I'm on his list. If I think I'm a Giannis away from winning a title, I trade for him anyway. And if he leaves after 2 seasons, he leaves after 2 seasons. I will take that shot anyway.
I thought he was going to be a Laker, man. I thought he was going to be a Laker.
He's not going to be a Laker.
I tried. I went on the trade machine, like I think a lot of other Laker fans, and started trying a whole bunch of stuff. First of all, you can't do it without a third team. And even if you do it with a third team, I don't think you have the parts that Milwaukee is looking for.
The Lakers have, I would argue, nothing that Milwaukee needs for a complete reset. Their expiring deals do nothing for Milwaukee because you would only want to clear cap space to put pieces around Giannis. It's not like they're going to use it to get other free agents. Nobody goes to Milwaukee. The Lakers don't control enough of their draft capital immediately to help Milwaukee start rebuilding now. Austin Reeves is honestly too old for a rebuild in Milwaukee. Dalton Connect's a nice piece, but he's not centerpiece for a Giannis trade good.
All right, here's who might be center.
I forgot about Bronny. I got to reset this whole thing.
Yeah, right. Exactly. How dare you?
Unfortunately, he doesn't make enough money for a straight-up trade.
Oh, darn it. Bronny for Giannis, straight up.
Who says no?
Andy, here's what scares me. I think San Antonio has a giant package that Milwaukee couldn't say no to. Hear that, Chris? A giant package.
I heard it. Yes, thank you.
May I see it, please?
Yes, if you want.
Yeah, it would include Stefan Castle.
Thank you.
It would include probably Jeremy Sohan, maybe Keldon Johnson. They have 2 lottery picks in this draft, and then a bunch more going
Second
forward.
overall pick.
Right.
So do you have to give all of that up to get Giannis?
But you could, and then you would still be left with, De'Aaron Fox, Wemby, and Giannis all on the same team.
That's really good.
I mean, come on. And some of their backups are really good. That's what scares me, is that the West is even going to get more loaded.
Unless Giannis just doesn't want to go west because the competition is so stacked, I consider either San Antonio or Houston the teams that can make the most noise trying to get Giannis.
Yeah, San Antonio scares me because I think, they've got great structure. They've got, rookie coach, which would be interesting. But, man, if they put Giannis, Wemby, and De'Aaron Fox on the same team, look out.
It's interesting you bring that up with the rookie coach. Mitch Johnson's his name, correct?
He's basically not a rookie because he coached most of this year.
Giannis has been through an awful lot of weirdness and turmoil with coaches over the last several years. I actually wonder if that's something that he would find unappealing potentially with San Antonio. Again, if I'm San Antonio and I think I can get him, I trade for him anyway.
By the way, if he gets traded, Doc just leaves, right? Doc's not going to stay and coach a team that doesn't have Giannis on it.
Doc told us he didn't even want this job. He didn't even want to take it, but he was compelled to duty. Like somebody had to do it.
Yeah.
Doc didn't want this at all.
Yeah,
nobody wanted this job.
I think the money had something to do with it.
It's not his fault, John. It's not Doc's fault.
Well, they fired Adrian Griffin when I think they were 30-13.
Well, it's part of the reason Doc didn't want the job. He and Adrian are close. He didn't want this job, John.
That's what Mace would say if he got any of us fired.
Wasn't me. All right, coming up next is Sports Graffiti, 877-710-3776. That works out to 877-710-ESPN. All you got to do is give Laura your name. Andy and I will let you talk about anything you want. You can talk about the Dodgers, the Lakers. You can talk about Pro Baller Energy. You can talk about Kelsey Plum. You can talk about any of the things we've talked about, or you can go off the board and bring up anything you want. Sports Graffiti next, 877-710-3776. Andy Kamenetsky in for Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
The most followed sports radio station in the world.
In the world. That's right. In the...
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill?
It's just better for you.
Download the Waba Rewards app or order online at wabagrill.com. Waba Grill. It's for you.
Hey guys, double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino, 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the Players Reward Desk and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats. So lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at ESPNLA.com.
New players who sign up for their Players Reward get $30 in match play. Just say, Cappy sent me to get $30 in match play. Park West Bicycle Casino.
Please gamble responsibly. Problemgambling.ca.gov. 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGR-001291. GAR-001292. GAR-001298. BSIS license number 1358.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
When I wake up
The best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
pull on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started on the right foot.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Good mornings make for better days.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Wrangler, for the ride of life.
USC football is more than a game. It's tradition, pride, and unforgettable Saturdays in the Coliseum. Be there for every kickoff, every touchdown, and every unforgettable moment this season. Secure your football season tickets today and lock in the best seats, exclusive fan benefits, and memories that last a lifetime. Don't miss out. We need you in the stands. Visit USCTrojans.com or call 213-740-GO-SC.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
And it is 1 o'clock in the Southland on the biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland. And it's time for Let's Talk About It on Sports Graffiti like we do every day at this time. Sponsored by our friends at BetterHelp. Mental health is health. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout today for 10% off your first month of therapy. BetterHelp.com/timeout. Now let's do it. Let's talk about it on Sports Graffiti on Mason and Ireland.
All right, Mason and Ireland. Oh, wow, Chris. All right, let me see if I can pull this.
Come on. Come on. Come on. You know, you can feel it.
Sanford Townsend Band.
Yes.
Wow.
Smoke from a Distant Fire.
Wow.
They were a
Easy.
two-hit wonder. I can't remember what the other song was, though. I don't know.
You could have given me 1,000 tries and I would not have come up with
I got to
that.
look up another song.
Yeah, but he's played Name That Tune. There are two people. In Name That Tune, I was like I am on Game of Games. I was destroying people, and I got humbled by two people. Trish Kinsey couldn't take her down, and Morales just ran circles around me. But disadvantage. I mean, he's the son of Mucho Morales.
Sure.
I mean, he's been listening to music from the womb.
I feel like I know the yacht rock catalog and artists reasonably well. I would have never come up with that poll.
Yeah, Chris and I have more useless information in our heads than most people.
I'm looking up the other song.
Yeah, it was not because I was listening to I was listening to the Sirius Yacht Rock channel, and something came up that was a Sanford Townsend Band song.
Shake It to the Right. Sometimes I like to shake it to the left.
I was going to say, I go both ways.
And then
I'm a switch hitter.
Eye of My Storm. I haven't heard of those songs. Well, okay.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Okay, time for Sports Graffiti. You can talk about anything you want, and we start with Don on line 1. Don, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
Hey, guys, I just wanted to talk about the Dodger panic with some of you guys. Let me tell you something. Dustin May couldn't hit a spot to save his life. Kershaw's throwing batting practice, and Tony Gonsolin was on his period, for God's sake. But listen, we've got 114 games left. If they're down 10 games from first and there's 20 games left, I might get nervous then. But be real. I mean, come on. The Angels just had their World Series, and that's all there is to say about it. But you guys take care. Have a good day.
All right, so it sounds like on a scale of 1 to 10, Don's panic meter is -2.
No, he's pretending to be -2. He's at a 10.
Oh.
You can feel it through the phone.
Eddie, you're on Sports Graffiti. Eddie, what do you got?
Personally, I shake it to the left.
Thank you, Eddie.
Do you guys think? Do you guys think we overvalue Austin Reeves too much? In the free agency, when he was a restricted free agent, the rest of the NBA kind of told us by not bidding him up. And so the only player that I could see us trading for him is maybe Drew Holiday, which would be great.
I don't think you could make the money work. And Drew Holiday very well may become available. But I don't think Austin Reeves is overrated, Andy. I think he's probably properly rated. I don't think he's underrated either. But I think he is the third option on a good team.
Well, here's what I would say as far as the reason that other teams didn't put out an offer. I think everybody knew the Lakers were going to match it, and they didn't want to
tie up their cap space.
They didn't want to tie up their own cap space, even if just for a few days or so. I do have some concerns that internally they over-covet Austin. Like the recent report from Dan Wojcicki, L.A. Times newsletter, talked about, the franchise loving Austin's story, And it is a great story, undrafted to where he is now, but that's not a good enough reason to keep a guy around. But also, too, the way Dan reported that they would trade Austin for, say, a foundational center. You start going through the centers that might even qualify as foundational, that you can even imagine their team moving. The list is really small before you get into would the team trade that center for Austin. You could interpret it as creating a set of standards that nobody else can meet so you can justify keeping the guy that you want to keep. You end up at the end game that you want to land on.
Let me be super clear about this. Austin's my favorite player on the team. I hope to
He's
God
a really good player.
that they don't trade him.
I want to make it clear. He's a very good player.
But every time Rob Pelinka's phone rings, the first name they're asking for is Austin Reeves. They know that Luka and LeBron are unavailable, and Austin's our next best player.
Sure.
So to go down the rabbit hole you went down, Indiana calls you. They say, would you consider a package that would involve Miles Turner for Austin Reeves? Both sides would think about that.
Absolutely.
It's a little bit harder if Utah calls with Walker Kessler. I think that's probably not enough. Austin's probably better than him. But maybe not.
I think they are comparable players. But like Miles Turner, for example, I agree that the Lakers should consider that. I would be stunned if Indiana made that call, though, especially where they are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like the idea that they would trade their starting center who's a lifer with the organization as they're in the Eastern Conference Finals, that doesn't really make sense to me.
All right, how about this one?
And Austin had a tough playoff. Let's not forget
He had a
that.
bad toe.
Yeah, okay, but fine. He had a bad toe.
All right. Andy, would you consider, under any circumstances...
I know where you... Hold on. I'm going to give you a preemptive no because I think I know the question you're going to ask. But
So tell me if it was this. Would you consider taking on the contract of
Hell
Joel
no.
Embiid?
Hell effing no.
Even if you got him on your terms, because you'd have to.
My terms are he stays in Philadelphia.
You don't even want to explore it.
He's owed like $240 million over the next 4 years, and he's played less than 60 games.
I'm aware of it.
Hell no.
Michael says he's the best big man in the history of the NBA
Michael
from a
would make
skill
a
set
terrible GM,
perspective.
respectfully.
Well, no, he's not arguing.
He
that
still believes Tim Tebow. You give that guy a shot,
but
man.
Michael's not arguing that you go get Joel Embiid. He just says when healthy, Joel Embiid is unguardable.
Yeah, when healthy. When will he be healthy?
Never has.
Yeah, exactly.
The Sixers have never even gotten to the Eastern Conference Finals with him.
Yeah, I know. Fair enough.
Like, hell no.
Luis, you're on Sports Graffiti, Luis. What do you got?
All right, man. So a couple weeks ago, I called in.
Did he hang up on himself?
Damn it, Brian.
No. That was probably me. I was trying to answer another line.
Okay.
come
Sorry,
on,
Luis.
Laura.
Laura hung up on you. Here's
I'm
Sean
sorry.
on line 5. Hey, Sean, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
Hey, thanks, guys. Dodger fan, remember July last year? Everyone had given up on him. Travis had given up on him. Everyone, oh, my gosh, the Dodgers are just relax. It's not the fall yet. We won a World Series with a shambled-up pitching staff. And number two, Shohei Ohtani, let's just keep you a DH. Please don't get on the mound. We know you'd be an excellent pitcher, but look what's happened. I don't even want to say it. Let's just keep him where he is. We won a World Series without him pitching. And with a shambled pitching staff, I think we will get it back into action. What's your take?
I think that if you pay Shohei Ohtani $700 million, you don't at least explore him as a pitcher. You have to at least try it.
I would explore it, but I tend to agree. I'm not forcing it. Like, you are already getting the money back and then some in value and in merchandising, all of that stuff with Ohtani just as a DH. Like, if you're looking for more everyday use, I would look to convert him to a first baseman or something like that if you want to try to find better ways to justify it. If he hurts himself with pitching, you lose him as a bat, too.
Well,
He's too
not
valuable.
necessarily. The last couple of years with the Angels, he didn't pitch much because he still could hit. Still won MVP.
But it depends on what the injury.
Won MVP last year without pitching.
No, but if he's injured,
But he had Tommy
pitching.
John and then hit for the Angels for a whole year.
The guy who Laura hung up on is back.
Luis is back?
Don number 4. I got you.
Well, the person we hung up on was Luis, but we can...
Oh, he said I was... Okay, my bad.
Hey, no, are you guys there?
Yeah, go ahead.
We're here, Don. Go ahead.
No, I wanted to respond to Morales saying that my panic level's a 10.
Oh,
Morales,
now we're doing
you
a
are
talk
such
show.
A clown sometimes.
I'm such a
Dude,
what?
You are such a clown. Well, you know what? You talk your trash after I'm gone. I mean, dude, we need to get
No,
a
your
bobblehead
panic is at a
of
10
you and
right
just
now. I
smash
just
the
said it.
crap out of it.
I just said it to you.
All right, I hung up on him. Lewis is back.
Okay.
What line, Laura? What line do you
He's
want
on.
to go
He's
to?
on air. He's on air. He's on air.
Luis.
Hey, so a couple weeks ago I called in and my kid keeps coming up with these Morales-isms.
Okay.
And Morales, a couple weeks ago when he said that he got hit in the Schwans, you kind of passed that off on Cappy, but he's actually mimicking you.
Oh.
So now anytime somebody says something funny, there's a joke, and anybody laughs, he'll just blurt out of nowhere to cut that up. And so on Sunday...
That's
Sunday,
amazing.
That is
we won
excellent
our
parenting,
tournament.
Luis.
I know. We were in Riverside, and we won our tournament, and as all the kids were running off the field, throwing up their glove, hands in the air, he runs straight in from outfield and just yells at the top of his lungs, "It is a final!" So, Morales, you're educating America's youth. Good
Thank
job.
you, sir. Thank you, Luis.
And that's a final.
Yes.
Yes.
I am a role model for the youth of America.
And that's a scary thought. Here's Lee on line 6. Hey, Lee, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
Okay, Mookie, the experiment is over. Get your ass out in center field and stay there. We'll handle second base and shortstop with Kiki, Edmund, and Kim and Rojas. Period.
What? Mookie's playing great at short. And he had 2
No,
home
we need
runs
him in
last
center
night.
field.
Who's Kiki?
What? You need him in center field.
Wait a minute. What's wrong with Pajes?
What? Left field.
Where are you going to put in Hernandez?
Shortstop or second base.
No,
He's talking about
Kike.
Kike.
Oh, yeah, I was talking about Teoscar. But I mean,
Teoscar's in right field.
All right, so you want Teoscar in right, Mookie in center, Pajes in left. You want Edmund at short?
Short or second base. These are versatile infielders. They specialize in the infield. You want to put an experiment in center field? Come on, that's an important part of this scheme.
I actually think Pajes has been good.
Is the experiment that you're referring to Kim? Is that what you're talking about?
Kim's been great.
No, but in center field. He played center
Pajes.
field last.
Well,
No,
Pajes
Kim played it last night.
Oh, okay.
I'm asking, is that what you're referring to with an
Probably.
experiment?
Probably, but he's gone.
Okay.
But the
I want that Don guy to call back. The guy who was yelling at me. I want to keep.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
He can call you in the afternoon.
Alec
Okay.
on line 7. Alec,
Yes,
you're
sir.
on Sports
5:30 p.m. We'll be on
Graffiti.
YouTube only. Call back, Don.
Good afternoon, guys. I keep hearing this is the Lakers' biggest free agency ever.
That's branding, sir.
I'd like Nas Reed and some 3-and-D guys. I hear a lot of things. What do you guys actually think is going to happen in free agency,
Well,
realistically?
Not Nas Reed.
Yeah, I think Nas Reed's going back to the Wolves. But you know who I could see? Miles Turner's unrestricted, but Indiana, I think, is going to try everything they can to keep him.
And the Lakers are not going to be able to afford him as an unrestricted
Right.
free agent anyway.
But here's somebody they could afford. What do you think of Steven Adams?
I like him as a reserve. I'm not sure they're going to be able to afford him. Not after the way he played with Houston.
He's making $13 million this year. I think you could get him for 17.
The Lakers aren't going to have 17.
1 year, they can once. Andy, I think there's going to be 7 or 8 new Lakers next year. I think you can basically, you know the 5 guys who played in Minnesota. Add on to that maybe Jared Vanderbilt, and past that Bronny and everybody else.
So you're expecting like guys like Gabe and Maxey to get offloaded just for cap space?
If you can get Steven Adams, I think they're going to unload people to get a center.
That's going to be, I think they may unload guys to get a center or trade. Like somebody like Nick Claxton in Brooklyn. I could picture them making a trade to bring him in.
Right.
I would be surprised if they were able to offload enough guys just to create the space for a Steve Adams or whoever and still make significant moves to upgrade the roster. Like if Steven Adams is their biggest move of the offseason, that's not good enough.
Well, who do you envision? Like, what's the home run for a center?
Realistically,
yeah,
I think someone like Nick Claxton. To be honest, I think.
But you have to trade for him. I'm saying of the free agent centers.
Oh, free agents.
Miles Turner, Brooke Lopez, Clint Capella, Steven Adams.
Clint Capella, I think, is probably the most realistic, maybe because I'm I am treating this with the assumption that they're only going to have a taxpayer mid-level, which is a little bit under 6. I'm not positive you can get Steven Adams for that. I'm not that interested in Brooke Lopez, so maybe Clint Capella.
Come on, we got to do better. It's the biggest offseason ever.
And by the way, I think you got to let your imagination run a little wild. I think they're going to free up a ton of cap space.
I think about this all the time. 5 days a week, I think about this.
I would rather have Steven Adams than Clint Capella. I would rather have Steven Adams and Brooke Lopez.
So would I. Like I said, I don't think they're going to be able to afford Steven Adams. I would rather have him. I don't think they're going to be able to afford him unless they make some maneuvers that I'm not anticipating. I'd love to be wrong. Wrong.
How much money do you think Steven Adams is? I think Steven Adams is going to be a 1-year deal.
Right, but I think he's going to make more than $6 million, and for the time being, with a taxpayer mid-level, that's all they can give him.
Yeah, I think Rob's good at moving things around and creating space, which I expect him to do. But
let's go see. Second apron for him.
No, we don't want that. Here's TJ. Hey, TJ, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
What up, Johnny I, can you hear me?
Yes.
What's going on? Good afternoon. Man, it's crazy. I was actually looking at the playoff brackets from, top to bottom, and I know, the big matchups we wanted, which was, Boston, New York, or Boston Lakers. But how exciting is it going to be to see Shea versus Ant-Man? I'm just sitting here looking at, the lineups. I'm like, damn, okay, they're, 8 deep, the Wolves, and then I'm like, well, okay, so he can go 11 deep. And then I'm like, okay, like you said, Jaden, is he going to guard Shea? And then is Lou Dort going to guard? I'm actually really excited for this. I really did not think this could happen, but this is one of the ones, really a blockbuster.
I think this series is as close as it gets. If you made me pick it, I would take the Thunder because they have Game 7 at home. But if Minnesota beats them, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think it's going to be a really, really fun series. I'm looking forward to it. It starts tonight.
Right here on ESPN Los Angeles. Right, Chris?
5:30 p.m. You'll hear it on 7:10 a.m. and the ESPN tile. It says ESPN National Broadcast on the app. Meanwhile, we will go YouTube only, 5:30 to 6. No commercials, just fun and frivolity. Sedano probably won't do it with us because he's mad about it, but we'll have Beto, Cappy.
Wait a second. He's working the game.
No, but I think he's mad about it, too. He, did a whole segment blasting me yesterday.
I know, but...
He took calls. Will you watch on YouTube or not?
Well, the good news is the phones weren't working, so a lot of the calls didn't go through.
That is true, yes.
As George himself would say, both things could be true.
That is true. You're right, John.
He could be mad about it, but he's also unavailable because he's working the game.
We'll be on YouTube only from 5:30 to 6 with fun and frivolity.
All right. Sports Graffiti brought to you by Let's Talk About It on Sports Graffiti. It's sponsored by Better Health. Mental health is health. Coming up, the Pittsburgh Pirates did something they're being criticized for, Andy, and I'm not sure they deserve it. I'll tell you what that's about. And also, Rory McIlroy is being criticized for something that I think he should be criticized for.
Yes.
We'll get into both of those things coming up next. Andy Kamenetsky in for Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
The fun way to drive home is with Sedano and Cap.
Weekdays after Mason in Ireland.
American Gladiators has found its host in WWE superstar Mike The Miz.
Does he co-host? Does he have a...
No, just him.
By himself. No eye candy, just him.
No
eye candy? Really?
Yeah, like a guy like me.
He's very entertaining.
Like a piece of ass. Well, they got The Miz because he knows this kind of stuff, but then they brought that hot guy, Kaplan.
Sedano and Cap today at 3 p.m.
on 710 ESPN.
Hey guys, double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino, 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the Players Reward Desk and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double Down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats. So lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at ESPNLA.com.
With Seller's Advantage.
Ever feel like the road is out to... Thankfully, Hyundai is always working to ensure it doesn't, with over 130 IIHS Top Safety Awards since 2006. IIHS Top Safety Awards include Top Safety Pick and Top Safety Pick Plus awards to Hyundai vehicles from 2006 to 2025.
Lease a Hyundai Tucson for only $259 a month, or get 3.99% APR for 72 months. See your SoCal Hyundai dealer. Offers end June 2nd. Call 714-568-7676 for details.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
$119 on a live imaging Tuesday on Mason in Ireland. Andy sitting in for Mace, who's vacationing in Hawaii, posting pictures of his tricep. It was a good picture, though. He made that tricep flex. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do know what you're saying.
I'm just saying, the man had a nice tricep. I like to knock the guy, especially around this time of the year.
He claims he's working out while on vacation.
It's summer shred time.
Yeah, no, but
I meant his contract,
he hasn't worked out for like a month.
I meant he won't stop talking about his contract.
Well, it's in a month. We have no idea if we'll be here.
You're
now,
gonna be
if Mason and I are gone.
Now, if Mason leaves, will you stay? The John Ireland extravaganza.
I've never thought about that.
It's something to think about.
Ireland. Yeah, I definitely don't want to do a solo show.
It won't be solo. For the price of Mace, we can get you 5 people.
Who are the 5?
You decide.
Yeah, I don't think I would.
No.
I think if you blow Mason on it, he would do a show. Well, he has done a solo show. He would stay if I left, but I don't think I would stay.
What if I got you Steve Hartman just to really burn him? Ireland and Hartman.
Could we do that as like a practical joke?
Mace might. He would text us, "Oh, you've lost a friend."
Right. Well, if he was leaving, like if we just got Hartman to fill in one day this week, like he would go ballistic.
That would start World War VII.
Yeah, that would be awesome. All right. So there's a couple of people or teams being criticized, Andy, and I want you to tell me if they deserve it. Okay. All right. Here's the first one. You know who Paul Skeens is,
Sure.
right? The Rookie of the Year, the pitcher for the Pirates.
Sure.
Dates Livy Dunn, Chris. That's how you should know who he is.
Yes.
Livy Dunn, who is one of the Sports Illustrated cover girl models. But Skeens threw his first complete game on Sunday. He played great. But the Phillies won the game 1-0. After the game, the Pirates social media team put up a graphic highlighting how great Skeens was. Like, Paul Skeens, complete game, 9 innings, only 3 hits, blah, blah, blah. But never mentioned anywhere on the graphic that the Pirates had lost. And so people are getting on the Pirates social media team about this. Do they deserve to be criticized?
No. They are celebrating Paul Skeens' achievement. They should be criticized if they put that the Pirates won the game. Like, that would be legitimate.
Well, they didn't win.
I know. That's my point. If they presented a lie in this social media graph, that would be worth criticizing
Would it have been better if they would have said, yeah, we lost, but look at our future?
It's a meme.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, let's not overread
Chris, so they
this.
deserve to be criticized for celebrating Paul Skeens and never mentioning anywhere on the graphic that the Pirates lost the game.
No. Let it go. It's just a meme. I mean, that Andy, you're right. Come on, guys.
Brian, what do you think?
I think it's okay.
I think it's just a typical pirate maneuver here. You know, that's what it is.
Laura, do they deserve to be criticized?
No, I don't think so. Honestly,
I agree with Andy. I think that your job, if you work for the Pirates social media team, is to promote the Pirates. What you want to do is keep your boss happy. Your boss is not going to be happy if you lead with, yeah, we lost.
Here's the thing, too. They probably, if I had to guess, it's purely a guess, they probably acknowledged in a different social media graphic that they lost that game.
Yeah, there was probably multiple posts.
Like, I'm sure that at some point over the course of that day, the Pirates acknowledged that we lost. Like, do they have to acknowledge that they lost in every single graphic that they put out?
What if they didn't? What if they never put up any type of graphic that they lost? The one graphic they put up was to celebrate Paul Skeens, and it failed to mention the result.
Cool with it anyway.
Okay, me too.
It's their social media team. It's their thread. They should do with it what they want.
All right, here's another one. Chris, curious what you think of this.
There are plenty of other
one.
ways to find out that the Pirates lost.
Yes, there are. You guys may know I love Rory McIlroy.
Sure.
We've had him on the show. He grew up 10 minutes from where my dad grew up, defending Masters champion. He's being criticized because he refused to speak to the media after all 4 rounds of the PGA Championship over the weekend. Rory was in demand because it was his first major since, not only was it his first major since winning the Masters, he did talk before the tournament, but did not talk after any of his rounds. But he was also in demand because right before round 1, his driver was deemed illegal.
I hate when you get an illegal driver.
And he had to play with a backup driver. By the way, for what it's worth, so did Scotty Scheffler, and he won the tournament. His driver was deemed illegal.
I think his follow-up is going to be...
Andy, what
deems it illegal?
Yeah, do you know why?
The specs of it. You have to be within, like, you can't have a certain amount of titanium in it. You can't have a certain angle. You know, it's all relevant.
Shaft could be bad.
Right. I hate that.
Head too big.
But
come on, Andy, we're a family show.
Andy, do athletes owe it to the fans and to the media partners to speak after a game or a round?
Yes, this is part of your job. This is, I imagine, part of the contract. This is part of what gets you the big money, the big endorsements. There's an accountability. Like, it's just a weak move to not address the media at any point of this. I mean, if you're that afraid of talking about your driver, then I'm guessing you were trying to put something past everyone in golf. Otherwise, just talk. Like, why are you avoiding this for 4 straight days? If you missed 1, okay. All 4, that's unprofessional.
All right, Chris, I'm going to give the other side of this, and you tell us which one you agree with. As a member of the media, and Andy and I have been to probably 100,000 press conferences. I can't imagine how many you and I have been to together and independently of each other. And we've been doing it for 25 years. You and I have been going to press conferences.
Mm-hmm.
As a member of the media, I have no interest in hearing from someone who has nothing to say. Do you remember how Kobe used to shut it down during the playoffs and give us nothing?
Sure.
And everybody said, well, that's because he's deadly serious, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, if you don't want to talk, don't waste my time. If you have nothing to say, I want to hear from someone who does have something to say. At a golf tournament, these guys aren't on teams. They're individuals, which is what allows them to do this. Colin Markowick pulls this too. He doesn't like talking. If you don't want to talk, I don't care. I don't want to hear from you. I'll get somebody that will talk.
Right, but other fans may care. The people involved with golf care. Like, the fact that you don't care as an individual media member, to me, is beside the point.
Well, I'm there to cover the tournament, and I'm going to cover it whether Rory talks to me or not. Chris, do you think golfers in this case should be required to speak after every round?
So PGA players are independent contractors. They're not employees, unlike basketball players. Football
Correct.
players. So I think...
But, for example, to your point,
right.
If, Mitch Heckert, the PR director for the Lakers, if he were here, he would say, our players are required by the CBA to speak, and if they don't talk, we're going to fine them.
So to your point, John, I wanted to hear from Rory, which we did hear after the Masters. We got a lot of Rory. We got him before. He obviously didn't want to talk about the driver and why he might have done that. Why? How do you even make that mistake in today's day and age?
Well, a lot of guys did. I mean,
yeah, but
Scheffler
I think to Andy's point, you're trying to pull something. You're
Right.
trying to pull a fast one.
I mean,
Which,
because
okay,
here's the thing.
it's fine.
If
you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
If it's an innocuous mistake, if it happens to be an honest mistake, then you just say that. if you were trying to put something past everyone, then maybe that's the reason you don't want to talk. But either way,
and he didn't have a great tournament either. So
it's part of the deal.
He doesn't want to talk about
this
it.
is part of the deal.
But what's he going to say? He's just going to be an a-hole up there, and that's not good for anybody.
No, actually, that could be great for the people covering it. It could be interesting for the people who follow the sport.
Well, there's something else happening here. I was having this debate with our old friend Ben Lyons.
Okay.
I had dinner with him in New York when I was there this year. And Ben made a good point. If you watch Warrior games, sometimes Draymond will talk to the media and sometimes he will not. But as soon as the game's over, he'll go on his podcast. And Ben asked an interesting question. He said, let's say you're a young NBA fan. You're a 17-year-old kid.
Right.
You follow the NBA. And Andy, sometimes you host our postgame show. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the postgame show is really good and we get good callers and it's interesting. Other times, if the Lakers get blown out and there's nothing good to say,
that's sometimes when we hear the best stuff,
right?
When they're terrible.
But if you're a fan, a consumer, it's our job as the home of the Lakers to make that show engaging and interesting. If we don't, why wouldn't you go listen to Draymond or go listen to Bronny on his drive home doing an Instagram Live?
Right.
There's competition now.
Of course.
And a lot of people, a lot of athletes, particularly the independent contractors, don't want to give this stuff away for free. I had a guy walk up to me, kind of an old legacy media guy, towards the end of the Lakers season and said, hey, ABC News wants to fly out here and do a sit-down interview with LeBron. What's the best way to get that done? And I said, he's probably not going to do it. And they said, well, why not? Why wouldn't he want a national platform? I go, because he doesn't need it.
Yeah, right. If you're asking me, do I think Rory needs this or needs traditional media, the answer is no. But to your point before about when you could just get it from Draymond independently or Bronny or whatever, that would make more sense to me if Rory went on the Rory McIlroy podcast, his own, and talked about all this stuff, where he could control the message. If he did no talking about it all, that's just, I don't want to talk.
Right.
And again, do I think that this is a massive crime in the grand scheme of things? No, but it is unprofessional.
Well, Arnold Palmer used to say that it's your job to grow the game. And what I think some of these athletes don't realize, and this is to the heart of your point, is sometimes if you go into a press conference and lose it, that makes the front page of ESPN.com.
Right.
That becomes a lead story on sports radio. The fact that we're talking about this is interesting because chances are we wouldn't be talking about it otherwise. That tournament was 2 days ago. Scottie Scheffler won it in a runaway.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't even know that this tournament happened until we went through the run.
Sunday got tight for a second with John Rahm, and then Scottie pulled away.
And now, Andy, we're sitting here on a Tuesday talking about it. If Rory doesn't pull that, we're not talking about it at all.
That's true.
So in the big picture of things, he might say, if Rory were here with us, he might say, well, so if I would have talked and done my normal talk where I don't really say much, the story dies. Now I didn't talk, and you guys are all talking about it. So did he get what he wants?
I don't know. I don't know what he wants.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, we do know what he wants, but then he had to go back with his wife.
That's unbelievable.
It's true.
No, you don't know that it's true. You don't know why he went back together with his wife.
He was allegedly having an affair, and then he went back with his wife, obviously.
Yeah, but allegedly is a pretty loose term there, my friend.
Everybody said it. It was all over. Even Netflix did it in their golf documentary.
The interesting thing, by the way, that thing, Full Swing, was great.
Full Swing was great.
All right, coming up next, Andy is I don't know if you're a proud graduate of USC, but you're a graduate of USC.
I don't know if they're as proud as me, but...
Lincoln Riley is doing something that I would imagine you're not going to like. But Mason, who's a big USC fan, likes it a lot. I'll tell you what it is next. Mason in Ireland. It's Live Imaging Tuesday. Morales is popping in with us. Andy Kamenetsky in for Mace, ESPN LA.
Looking for all things black and gold? Tap into LAFC Plus, hosted by Dave Denholm and Mario Ruiz.
This is LAFC Plus. He's Mario Ruiz. I'm Dave Denholm.
React to the latest match. Get ready for the upcoming game. Get exclusive interviews. Plus, a look around the rest of the MLS.
This is what LA is about. Not just being in the big games, but also winning.
New episodes of LAFC Plus drop weekly. Available everywhere you get your podcasts and on the ESPN LA app.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Los Angeles International Airport's People Mover trains begin rolling early next year as part of LAX's ongoing investments to transform and improve your travel journey. The People Mover trains will quickly move guests between their terminals and our new consolidated rental car center, metro trains and buses, economy parking, and Kiss and Fly lot. The trains will make it simple and fast to get to your LAX destination in 10 minutes or less, and trains depart every 2 minutes beginning in early 2026. Learn more at lawa.org/ESPN.
Hey guys, it's Cap. Here's the scenario. Your home is flooded and the damage is severe. Now it feels like your insurance company is turning on you. They won't approve a replacement living arrangement, and the adjuster leaves you in the lurch. Take a breath and call Avner Gatt, one of Southern California's largest public adjuster firms. Avner Gatt knows how to fight back when your insurance company makes you feel like a criminal, leaving you with no hope of getting into your home and getting it all back together. With decades of experience and a passion for helping people, Avner and his family take the call themselves. So whether you have a toilet overflow, a broken water line, a burst supply line, a broken fire sprinkler, whatever the water damage is, you call Avner Gatt today at 818-917-5256, or you go to avnergatt.com. It's 818-917-5256 or avnergatt.com. You call, Avner answers, he says hello. Your claim is our game. avnergatt.com.
Coverage of the 2025 NBA playoffs on ESPN LA is brought to you by Chumba.
Hey, it's Travis. Join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their one-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Harin, Peter O'Malley, and more. Giveaways in the amazing art of Dave Hobrick. Purchase your tickets for meet and greets at legendsattic.com. We'll see you Friday, May 30th at Legends Attic in Claremont.
That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
This Memorial Day, turn up the heat with the Home Depot. Find the perfect grill and patio set to keep the cookouts coming all season long. Grill up a feast with the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill, only $229. And complete your space with the stylish Glen Ridge Falls 7-piece dining set, now on special buy for just $499 with free delivery. Take your Memorial Day cookout to the next level all summer long with the Home Depot. See homedepot.com/delivery for more details.
You got to be able to Columbo this stuff, Andy.
You've done a really good job.
Well, I follow the socials. You can follow us on social at
Chris,
ESPN
who's
Los
this?
Angeles. I don't know. I don't know, actually.
Really? I don't know either, but I'm surprised you don't. Brian, who is it?
It's got a little, Toto feel, I was going to say.
Okay.
Which one is this stuff?
99.
Oh, 99.
This feels like a Toto B-side.
Not to be confused with 99 Luft balloons.
I thought you were going to say something else for a second. I got scared. 136 on a live Imaging Tuesday. On Mason and Ireland, Andy is in for Mace, who's vacationing in Hawaii. Did he go to the Big Island?
Yes.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
I usually just say that as a bit, but I guess he did go to the Big Island.
No, everyone's going to the Big Island now because Maui burned to the ground.
But
I used to
there's
go to
other
Maui
islands.
every year.
But there's other islands.
Yeah, but you don't want to go to Oahu, too crowded.
Okay.
You don't want to go to Kauai, too boring. So the choices are then left, Maui or Big Island. I made the mistake. I used to go to Hawaii every year. Went every year for 20 years. My wife got sick of it, and now she won't go back.
Now, my girlfriend constantly bothers me about going to Hawaii.
Has she
likes
been?
it. Yeah, several times. I'm not a big I spent for 10 years, I lived on an airplane every week.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go anywhere. But she says, oh, but babe, you could play golf. Is the golf really worth the 5-hour flight?
It might be.
So
But-
you didn't play golf in Hawaii?
I did every year.
Oh.
Yeah.
And is it worth it?
What I'm saying is it might be.
Oh, okay.
She might be right.
Okay.
She might actually be making a very sound argument.
Okay.
Yeah, they got some great courses over there.
All right.
All right, Andy, I've been meaning to ask you about this because Mason and I have gone back and forth a couple of times, but it has reared its head again. It appears, and Mason is supportive of this, that Lincoln Riley's trying to get out of the USC Notre Dame game. The rationale is, and I think this part is accurate, Lincoln Riley is going to be judged, Andy, on whether or not he makes it into the playoff.
Particularly now.
Right.
Particularly
if he
now.
goes a few more years and he doesn't make the playoff, people are going to start calling for his head. Mason was calling for his head last year.
There are a lot of people calling for Lincoln Riley's head.
Right. Now, the new athletic director at USC says, quote, "We want the rivalry to continue. It's a special game for our fans and our institutions. We'll continue to work with Notre Dame on scheduling future games. But USC will only offer Notre Dame a one-year extension to 2026. Notre Dame wants to renew the rivalry for the next 10 years, and everybody's reading between the lines. They're saying USC is leaving their options open because maybe they want 3 cupcakes now that they're in the Big Ten, because they still have to play Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, and they'll never make the playoff if they play tough teams in their non-conference."
Well, that's what I was going to ask. With Notre Dame specifically, and I don't know this stuff off the top of my head, how difficult is their schedule typically?
They normally
now it's pretty difficult.
Yeah, they normally play Michigan every year. They normally play USC every year. Notre Dame has tradition. They always play the service academies.
Right.
They played Stanford for a lot of different years.
And they're their own independent entity. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, they made it to the championship game last year.
Absolutely. No, I know they've been good.
And they beat USC. So, if you're USC and you are a USC alum, is the smart move avoid Notre Dame because it improves your chances of making the playoff and therefore improves Lincoln Riley's chances of keeping his job? Or do you owe it to the history of the rivalry and the fact that USC has never really ducked people to continue this USC Notre Dame game because it's great for your fans?
Well, here's the thing. So much in college sports and college football, including SC, switching conferences, all that stuff, a lot of those traditions are gone anyway. So the maintaining of tradition piece of this, I get it. It's fun. USC Notre Dame is a lot of fun. But the reality is all this stuff is moving in a different direction anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. If you're somebody that all you care about is getting in that national championship tournament, putting yourself in the best position possible.
Mason's argument is that's all you should care about.
Then the ends would justify the means. The thing that would concern me, in all honesty, is that Notre Dame wants to maintain this game because they think they can keep beating USC. That's actually the piece of this that jumped out at me, like the idea that Notre Dame wants to keep it going, and that's why I asked about the quality of their schedule. They don't necessarily need it to maintain their own resume to get into the tournament. They may just want it because they feel like they can beat SC.
Right. But I'm just kind of talking out loud here. The regular season has to mean something. You can't just say,
well, SC's schedule is not easy. So
Right.
in that sense, the regular season does mean something. To me, that's a separate question than the tradition. Like the tradition with Notre Dame would still be there regardless of how good or bad Notre Dame is any particular season. That's a traditional thing. I mean, USC, UCLA, that's not lately been about the quality of competition. That's purely about the tradition.
Okay, so here's USC. I'm trying to find their current schedule.
Because I spoke too soon. The Notre Dame schedule isn't that hard this year.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
The USC's playing Montana State to open the season. Then they play Georgia Southern. Then they play Purdue. And then they start, basically playing Big Ten teams. They'll still play UCLA at the end of the year. I just think you can have one real non-conference game. You're already playing Montana State and Georgia Southern. What Mason is arguing is put San Jose State in there and take Notre Dame out.
A lot of these other schools, though, they don't have real non-conference games.
I understand.
They use their non-conference games to pad their record in order to put themselves in tournament contention. SC, if they want to maintain that rivalry and honor, and I get why fans would want that, they are knowingly putting themselves at a competitive disadvantage that could then turn around and have fans pissed off at them if they don't end up in the championship
Nothing
race.
you said just then is inaccurate. Nothing. You're right on the money. I still think they should play it. Chris, what do you think?
Andy, as a Trojan, you, me, and Key were in biology class together.
Sure. Oh, great days.
Those were great days.
They really were.
Part of the joy of being a Trojan is beating Notre Dame.
It's all we ever talked about.
And figuring out how we beat Notre Dame.
I know.
So you know what? Are we going to be gutless bums? Are the Trojans going to be gutless bums that say, "Oh, it's too hard," or can we just figure out how to beat them too?
I think, by the way, Andy, I think USC is still the only school ever not to schedule a Division II game.
I know. I mean, SC is traditionally
Don't be gutless, SC, and I don't believe you are. Well, I'm not like Andy, running away from the problem.
And Steve Mason.
Steve Mason's always running away. We say
to
we
some,
want
to some pretty exotic ports, too.
Well, that's a whole
Well,
other
here's
thing.
the thing, though. This is the question.
Sometimes you need an exotic port.
Is this a question of SC running away from it? Or
Yes.
is it no. Is it a question of Lincoln Riley trying to push SC away from it? Because it sounds like the AD at least is giving lip service.
What is
to
Lincoln
wanting this.
Riley's job?
Maintain his job.
Well, to win football games,
Sure.
right?
That's how you maintain your job, is to win football games.
Correct. It would
And
be
he's got a pretty good
easier
housing
for him
allowance.
to do his job if Notre Dame went away. But I think you got to say, like Nick Saban, when he was the coach at Alabama, would always have at least one really good non-conference game.
They beat up on a lot of crap, though, along
Right.
the way.
But they always had one real good non-conference game. I just, if I'm
Beat Notre Dame, those scumbag Irish.
I
This
want
is
to
how you
see.
have
I
to
want
do
to
it.
see
If you're
USC Notre Dame.
Look, if you're asking me, would I prefer SC to keep playing Notre Dame? The answer is yes. But if you're asking me if I understand why SC, having just entered a more difficult conference,
You're gutless, and you're gutless of thinking this. You're a Trojan.
I said
hit
I
the,
want
hit
them
the
to,
thing. Hit the fight
I
song.
said I want them to play Notre Dame. I've also resigned myself that they're not giving me the championship anytime
Probably
soon.
not. But we
They're going to be
salute-
good this year.
I
We
think they are gonna
salute
be
Troy
good.
for a reason. Not to run away from those Notre Dame stinking Irish, but to salute Troy.
I'm with Morales, and it's rare Chris and I are lockstep on anything, but this is, they're USC, man. Come on.
It ain't the SC of old.
But if you're
How
gonna,
dare you?
Just being honest.
And by the way, I think they have a chance to win 10 games this year.
I think they can be good too, but the way this stuff works right now, you get penalized more for losing against quality competition than taking on the competition,
and
then
that's
you
why
have-
this is a thing.
Right. And then
All right,
you
we
have
got
people
we got to
mad
move
about
on because we got What's Up Fool coming up next. Andy in
How
from
dare you?
Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA. Okay, I got to talk about ZipRecruiter. Ian Siegel, my buddy who invented ZipRecruiter, puts it this way: we don't leave anything to chance. So if you're hiring, why wouldn't you use ZipRecruiter? It's free. You can use it right now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. Here's how it works. You post your job on ZipRecruiter. They match your job description to people with that exact skill set. And they help you find qualified candidates fast. How fast? 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within 1 day. So what are you waiting for? Go to that web address and use ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter.com/LA again. That's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hey guys, double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino, 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the Players Reward Desk and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double Down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats. So lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at ESPNLA.com.
Going to be on fire tonight. For real.
The LA Afternoon Takeover. That's Sedano and Cap.
On 710 ESPN.
Your next Subaru is waiting for you at Subaru of Glendale. Check this out. Lease a new 2025 Subaru Crosstrek Sports CVT for just $299 a month plus tax for 36 months. One at this payment. VIN S37-03172. MSRP $31,935. $33.99 due at signing. Call 888-855-6434 or check out SubaruofGlendale.net. On approved Tier 1 credit through Subaru Motors Finance. No security deposit. 10,000 miles a year. Model code SRD-21.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Flashy discounts? Gimmicky sales? Don't fall for it. At Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, we give you honest, wholesale pricing all year long. No bogus markups, no tricks, just the best floors at the best prices. Call 866-62-FLOOR. No sale beats wholesale. Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. Check them out at hernandezwholesaleflooring.net or call them at 866-62-FLOOR.
For the best prices on hardwood, carpet, and more, call 866-62-FLOOR.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp recently surveyed over 16,000 people and found that while 75% of people believe it's wise to seek support, only 27% of Americans are in therapy, and people stay silent to avoid being judged. At BetterHelp, they have over 10 years of experience matching you with the right therapist. We're all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout today for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/timeout.
We're everyday people doing good in our community. Our kindness runs deep, just like our blood. The same blood we donate to help treat sickle cell disease, which hits Black people the hardest. Good news is, 1 in 3 Black blood donors is a match for someone struggling with sickle cell disease. Stand tall in the eyes of your community. Donate today because our blood saves lives. Visit redcrossblood.org/ourblood to make your donation.
Harry Douglas here. Picture this. You're staying at a hotel, about to take an important video call, but the Wi-Fi is slower than 1997 dial-up. You struggle with your phone's hotspot as clients complain about your connection. These stressful situations don't have to happen, folks. When you book a room at La Quinta by Wyndham, you get free, high-speed Wi-Fi to handle critical emails, join meetings on time, and even unwind with your favorite shows. No more worrying about spotty connections. Enjoy stress-free stays with reliable Wi-Fi. Tonight, La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Book direct at lq.com.
I mean, we're going to have to look it up. 10 minutes in front of 2 o'clock. It's a live imaging Tuesday on Mason and Ireland. Hit the post, Andy. I hit it. It's fine. Anyway, it is time for What's Up? Hit the thing. What's up?
What's Up, Fool is brought to you by Dos Hombres Mezcal. It's fate. It's friendship. It's mezcal.
Can't hit it.
Dos Hombres.
Take it away, producer Laura.
Thanks, Chris. All right, so I saw earlier today on the social media world that there's reports that UNC head coach Bill Belichick is engaged to his 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson.
Oh,
it says Miss
she
Hudson,
got him.
Oh, yeah, she got him good.
Ms. Hudson has told at least one person that she and Mr. Belichick are engaged to be married, per the New York Times. As you guys know, he's 73, she's 24, 49-year-old difference. Also, there was reports that they saw his boat, which was called 8 Rings, now being called 1+8 Rings, which that's interesting.
Wow.
But yeah, are we gonna be worried about Bill? Like,
what if he's got this all sewed up, John? What if he's got a great prenup? All the assets are
I
under
don't
LLCs.
think so. No.
He's good.
No.
I remember when you've never been married, right, Chris? Andy,
No.
you're married. Do you have a prenup?
No.
I don't either.
It's not worth anybody's time.
Well, I'm not either. And I remember my dad, when I was getting married, and my dad loved Lisa. My dad's not alive anymore, but he said, I said to my dad, I go, hey, I just want to make sure that I'm, being responsible
You're good.
here.
You're okay.
Should I ask Lisa for a prenup? And my dad starts laughing. He goes, yeah, try that. Let me know how it goes. And I went, are you being serious? He goes, she's not. I asked Lisa. She didn't talk to me for 2 days.
Really?
Did you really?
Yeah. You know who else doesn't have a prenup? Michael. I think prenups are only for people like you have to be.
Michael realized a long time ago he is never going to do better than Julie on a bunch of different levels.
But what's interesting, I said if Clay got married, and he goes, has to sign a prenup because he's got all that money.
Clay seems to live a different lifestyle than Michael lived.
Yeah. Laura, do you think Jordan Hudson is going to sign a prenup if they get married?
Hell no, that girl is not signing no prenup.
That's what I think too.
Do you think if Cappy and Rachel get married, that Rachel will make Cappy sign a prenup.
She should. It
well,
works both ways.
Okay. That's an interesting one.
Sign it, Scott. Sign it.
Is he working today? Is Cap working today?
Of course. He's in studio, too.
Cap had, we'll bring this up when he comes in. He had such a bad experience with his first marriage.
Right.
That not only do I not think he would have a problem signing it, I almost feel like he would feel better if he had it. Even though Rachel's the one with the money.
Right.
Because I think Cap then knows, okay, at least I know where everything stands.
Yes.
Because in the first marriage, he just got cleaned out.
He got cleaned out.
Yeah, so I don't think prenups are a bad idea. I just think they're, particularly if it's your first marriage, very difficult to get done.
It is a sensitive...
And this is Jordan Hudson's first marriage, right, Laura?
I'm sure.
Yeah,
she's got to be.
She's 24. She just got out of the womb. Like, what the
I was going to say, how many times previously could she have been married?
What's up, Foo?
All right, guys, so the NFL owners just passed that the NFL players are allowed to play in the Flag Football Olympics coming up here in L.A. 2028. Couple little caveats here. So they have to have some standards, field service, medical staff standards, and they're also putting in a insurance. So if players get hurt, they get salary cap insurance and kind of stuff like that. But the one caveat that I kind of want to take away here is a maximum of one player from each team will be allowed to participate.
Okay.
So two-part question here. Is this going to, create some tension and some, competition between teams of multiple guys wanting to go play, only one guy allowed to? And then it's going to be here in L.A. So which Ram do you think should be, the hometown hero here?
Well, it would have been Aaron Donald if he was still playing. But you can now get Aaron Donald anyway.
That's true.
So
I bet he's still in shape to do this.
Off of the Rams... Matt Stafford's probably going to go. So Kyron Williams is still pretty young. He might be a possibility.
Jared Verse chasing down dudes.
Love that.
That would be fun.
That might be the guy. Jared Verse might be the guy. Who would you want off the Chargers?
The Chargers.
Maybe Herbert?
Herbert, yeah. He was slinging it. Still be slinging it in a couple years.
Yeah. Derwin James.
To the wrong team, but he'll still be slinging it,
yeah.
For USA, he'll take us all the way, baby.
I'm surprised they're allowing that. I thought
I am too.
It's very close. Because aren't the Olympics in August?
Yes. Well, basically, yeah.
And then the football season starts in September.
And here's the thing. I know it's no
what
contact.
happens if what happens if Devontae Adams goes out and turns an ankle?
Right. I think that's why they put some of these salary cap injury stuff in here.
You get salary cap bonuses and you get. But here's the thing. Even though it's no contact and it's flag, we all remember playing flag football. You get aggressive. So you jump to try to get that flag and stuff. You're going to get hurt.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
Yeah, I
They're
have
athletes, professional athletes.
As soon as somebody gets hurt. I remember there used to be a rock and jock flag football game that MTV would do before the Super Bowl. And New England had a running back named Robert Edwards, and he stepped in the sand. They put it on a beach. He stepped in the sand and broke his leg. Oh, end of the game. They don't play it
anymore. Maybe this is like the opportunity for the Tutu Atwells of the world.
There you go.
To have their opportunity.
Well, if Mason were here, he would say, well, better that than on the Rams.
That's my point.
Yeah.
What's up, Foo?
All right, guys. So talking about the NFL, I saw a poll that talked about the teams that have not won an NFL championship ring. And sorry, Brian, your team's in there, the Chargers. You have the Cardinals, Falcons, Bills, Panthers, Bengals, Browns, Lions, Texans, Jaguars, Chargers, like I mentioned, Vikings, and Titans. And the poll was, who do you think would actually win one first? So I wanted to pose the question to you guys. If you guys had to pick a team from that specific group, who do you think would actually win a championship first?
Give us the list again.
All right, so it's the Cardinals, Falcons, Bills, Panthers, Bengals, Browns, Lions, Texans, Jaguars, Chargers, Vikings, and Titans.
It's either the Bills, the Bengals, and the Lions. Of those three, Andy, who would you put at the top?
I would say Buffalo because they just feel like the closest and they've got the most talented player of all of them.
Yeah, they can't finish.
Wait a minute. Look at guys.
That's Josh Allen choking yet again.
Yeah.
Guys, look at their schedule. Look at Buffalo's schedule.
Oh,
all their home games, all their road games are basically a bus ride.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning was the guy that couldn't win the big game and always choked, and then he won 2 Super Bowls. You're the choker until you win.
Well, John Elway was that too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think it'll probably Buffalo, Cincinnati, or Detroit.
They're
I'm
the
going
closest.
Texans.
I don't think they're ready yet.
But maybe in a few years.
I just saw C.J. Stroud in an NBA game somewhere, or was it it might have been a WNBA game. He's been making the rounds lately. Brian, you got one more?
What's up,
Yeah, I
Fu?
got one more here for you. So during the Subway Series this last weekend, Michael Kay had an interesting quote that kind of going viral now. Said, quote, "People in the know around here say Juan Soto wanted to be a Yankee. He actually chose the Yankees, but his family wanted him to be a Met, so he's a Met." So my question here is, do you fault Soto at all here, or what do you think of the thought process of him wanting to be a Yankee, his family apparently not, so he chose to be a Met?
Brian, you're recently married. How long have you and Allison been married?
About 6 months now.
All right. Have you heard the phrase "happy wife, happy life"?
Yeah, of course.
I think that Juan Soto may be applying that here. His wife probably wanted the extra money. The Mets offered the most money. She didn't have to move. She was in the same city. And that sets them up as a family for the next, 12 years? He signed a 12-year contract. Andy, I can't tell you how many times I've made a decision because I know that it will keep Lisa on the happy side of things, and that means my life is easier.
Absolutely. For a man in most marriage, every single day is just a question of how do I avoid screwing up?
Right.
How do I get through the rest of this day without screwing up something? And to your point, if it makes the Lady Soto and the rest of the family happier if he's with one team versus the other, pick that team. I just think it's strange that they would have a strong, I guess, unless it's just the money. Unless it was purely the money, why you'd care that much between Mets or Yankees? You're staying in New York either way. Why would they care that much?
I have a friend of mine who's a real estate agent. And remember Mark Teixeira, who used to come on the show?
He's
great
part
guy.
of the Good Karma Brands family now.
Yeah, Teixeira was a great guest. He was like, and then he went to work for ESPN after that. He played first base for the Angels for half a season. They traded for him at the trade deadline, and he had a great year. They got into the playoffs and fizzled out. But then at the end of the year, he was a free agent. I was talking to my friend. I go, "Did he rent or buy that place?" He goes, "He rented, and his wife's from Baltimore. I think they're going back east." And sure enough, like a month later, despite the fact the Angels would pay him the most money, he went back east.
Well, that's like when the Dodgers brought in Trey Turner. And it turned out
good example.
Trey Turner's family did not want to be here. Like, that's something the Dodgers, I think, at least should have done better intel on. Like the idea that you won't be able to keep Trey Turner full time, long term.
Yeah. And what was weird about that was they also, the year before that, let Corey Seager walk, which I thought was strange.
They have never really Mookie's actually, I think, been pretty good this year at short, and I find this storyline with him learning this position in real time really interesting, but they have not been able to land on a shortstop that works in a while.
He might be it. If he stays at shortstop, he might be it. All right, coming up next, I normally don't think that I'm not a big memorabilia guy. I don't go to auctions, but there is someone who recently passed away who has put all of his stuff up for auction that I think any sports fan would like to take something from this collection. So I know I would. We'll tell you who it is coming up next. Mason in Ireland, Andy Kamenetsky in for Mace, ESPN LA.
710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Travis Rogers and DeMarco Farr.
Back tomorrow at 9 a.m. after Clinton and Friends.
Can we get you a suit that fits?
Yeah, probably.
Like, what if I can get you a trade?
Ooh. Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I need some new
suits. Does it have to be whatever Chris wants in the suit? So could it be...
I'm going to have my tailor do it. I can pick out the lining inside.
There you go.
You can pick out
Imagine if it's just like, you know how
the
my...
little faces of Morales.
Well, Raj Kaswani in Sherman Oaks, right now from where we used to work, he does all my suits since I've been 21. What if my face is the lining of your suit?
I'm okay with that.
Oh, my God.
I'm okay with that. I get to pick with the suit.
Yeah,
okay.
But inside, it's my
it's all
face.
him.
Keep it buttoned, DeMarco.
Okay.
It'll be fine. We'll keep it buttoned
summer.
up all the time.
You got to think summer, though. You know, you may have to.
Yeah, you're going to have a vest, and I'm the lining on the
vest,
vest,
too.
too.
You know what I'm saying? Might come with some conversation.
Hey, guys.
This guy.
Double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino, 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the Players Reward Desk, and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats. So lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at ESPNLA.com.
By Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
Is it time to sell your home? Maybe you want to downsize. Maybe you want to move. Or maybe you inherited a home that you just don't want to hang on to. Whatever your reasons to sell, call Seller's Advantage. Seller's Advantage has been buying homes for decades. Their seller reviews speak for themselves. They're just people who buy from people, and they'll provide you a custom solution that works for your needs. They offer and will buy with cash, and they close in days. The great part is you don't have to worry about spending any money on repairs, preparing your home to be shown, or having people come in and out. And there are no agents, just a great offer and an easy experience that will give you the peace of mind so that you can walk away happy. So if it's time to sell your home, call Seller's Advantage for a free, no-obligation offer today. 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-2747, or visit sellersadvantage.com.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage. Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
4 minutes after 2 o'clock on a live imaging Tuesday on Mason and Ireland. Andy in for Mace. It is a final.
Oh, come on.
Well, I'm just saying. Too soon.
You're not wrong.
Too soon. Norm from Cheers has passed away. The great George Wendt dies at the age of 76 today.
What an iconic role.
He also was in an amazing episode of Columbo.
Was he so obviously before Cheers?
No, after Cheers, actually. Or during Cheers.
Really?
It was in the 80s, yeah.
And then, of course, he was on SNL in the Bears skit, which was great.
I just saw both a Facebook post from a friend of mine and then a text thread that I'm in, a different friend. Both of them knew George Wendt through different paths of life or whatever, and they both said incredibly nice guy. Just a really, really nice person.
You said something earlier that I've been kind of trying lately. You said that Cheers completely holds up. It's on late. Like I'm on the Hallmark Channel all the time.
Right.
So and as you know, I don't sleep. So if I wake up at 2 a.m, they run like 4 hours of Cheers.
A few years ago, my wife had never really watched Cheers in real time, so I was like, okay, we got to sit down. She loved it. Like, absolutely loved it. These episodes hold up great. That whole cast is fantastic, as was obviously George Wendt.
I'm trying to think. They tried to bring back Will and Grace, okay, after a long layoff. They're trying to bring back several other sitcoms that were successful earlier.
Malcolm in the Middle has a reboot coming.
Right. Are you surprised they haven't tried to reboot Cheers?
No, because they've already done it with Frasier.
Yeah.
Like, they already spent so much time with the Frasier character. It probably feels like the Cheers-verse has been completely explored.
The Cheers-verse. I like that.
By the way,
because those guys used to also guest on Frasier.
Right.
Chris, find this show. I'm buddies with a guy named Tom Russo. He's in my fantasy football league.
Oh, Tommy Russo.
And Tom is one of Kelsey Grammer's right-hand guys. Produces a lot of his stuff. Produced the Frasier reboot. Handled that for Kelsey. Kelsey did a show 10, 15 years ago.
I know what you're talking about. On Fox?
No, it's on Stars.
Oh.
It's
yeah.
called Boss.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was the mayor of Chicago. And it's only 2 seasons. And it's basically a story about just how corrupt Chicago politics are. You don't say. Once you start watching this show, and it's casted perfectly. Connie Nielsen is his wife. Troy Garrity, who is the son of Jane Fonda and Tom Hayden, plays an investigative reporter who tries to break this thing wide open. Kathleen Robertson from 90210 has a really racy part in it.
Travis Rogers is favorite.
You cannot.
I once waited on her and Tori Spelling together at the Brentwood Chin Chin.
What? Well,
Chin
this will
Chin.
Chin Chin.
Andy, this will show you a whole new side of her. But if you're into political shows or if you're a fan of Kelsey Grammer's, find
Or Kathleen
Boss.
Robertson, apparently.
Either way.
Yeah.
I will have to watch it. I never watched it, but I know what you're talking
I will
about.
tell you, so Kelsey Grammer is the mayor of Chicago. And you learn very early in the beginning of Boss that he has a debilitating medical condition. But he's so power hungry and he so controls Illinois politics that he's basically placing people in positions of power to allow him to keep his. And one guy, he gets this young up and coming politician, this guy named Zajac, not to be confused with Kojak.
Another great show.
And and Kathleen Robertson is Kelsey Grammer's assistant, and she has an affair with Zajac, and let's just say they bear all throughout the entire show.
You get what I'm saying, Andy?
I'm following this.
Okay.
Yes.
But if hail fellow well met to George Wendt.
By the way, you know what Pluto? You know Pluto TV, right, John?
Yeah, I've
the
heard of
app.
it. Yeah.
They ran last weekend or maybe 2 weekends ago. I can't remember now. Homicide Wife on the Oh no, it was last weekend. Yeah.
Love that show. One of my all-time.
But here's the thing:
shows.
it's so heavy you can't binge it. You can watch like 2 episodes and then you're like, I need a break because it's such a heavy, intense
so
show.
well done.
And that,
Powerhouse.
Do you think
cast.
that NBC killed it for Dick Wolf to do SVU? Because it's interesting why they would have ever killed that show.
Well, the show never did great ratings.
It didn't. Okay.
They kept trying to find time slots.
Did you ever watch it, John? Homicide Wife on the Street?
No, I never saw it.
It's
so amazing.
Andre Brower,
Oh,
Richard
incredible.
Belzer, Yaphet Kodo. It's really Giancarlo Esposito was on it.
Both Andre Brower and Richard Belzer are no longer with us, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
It is a final.
Okay. Hey, Andy, before I get to this other story, let me ask you about a trend that's going on in the NBA. Our Final Four this year means that for the 7th consecutive season, we will have a different champion. In the West, 6 years in a row, a different Western Conference winner, because nowhere in the last 6 years have the Thunder or the Wolves. That starts tonight. You can hear it on ESPN LA starting at 5:30. We think it's going to be great. 2 of the best guards in the league, maybe the 2 best guards in the league, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Anthony Edwards, going head-to-head. Donovan Mitchell would have a say in that conversation, but those 2 guys have had great years. Really looking forward to seeing it. Is that, Andy, 6 different Western Conference champions? We're going to have a 7th straight. You go back to the Lakers in 2020. It was Lakers, Bucks, Warriors, Celtics. This year we're going to have a different. Is that good or bad for the league?
You know, I've been thinking about this, and I think the answer is it depends on the demo. Like, for people of our age that grew up watching a lot of dynasties, we may feel like this isn't the league that we grew up watching.
That's me. That's how I feel.
But younger generations, all we ever hear is that they have short attention spans and that they want something new all the time. So for the younger demo that the NBA cares about more than anything else, it might actually be good. Like, it's something new that keeps their attention at all times because it's not predictable. Like, they see something different.
I like super teams. I like dynasties. I wish it was Lakers Celtics every year.
So did David Stern.
Yeah. Well, one year somebody asked David Stern, what's your ideal finals? And he said Lakers versus Lakers.
Yep.
But I don't think it's horrible that all these other teams, because when you make a title run, like I'm friends with all the other guys that have my job, all the other radio play-by-play guys. It's really cool that these guys are getting, I've been to 8 finals. They haven't been to any. A lot of these guys haven't been to,
The 4 teams that are
Alan
left.
Horton, the guy who's the voice of the Wolves, is a great dude. He's never been to any.
The 4 teams that are left, 3 have never won a championship. And then if the Knicks won, they have not won in 52 years.
Right, and Mark Boyle, the announcer for the Pacers, has been there for over 30 years. The last time he was in the finals, 2000, when they played the Lakers.
So you have 4 fan bases. I mean, you go to New York, there are people that are, say, 40 and under, 45 and under. They have absolutely no memory whatsoever of the Knicks ever winning a championship. So for all intents and purposes, huge fan base doesn't know anything. The other three, they've truly never experienced it. They get to experience something really cool. Again, I think a lot of this depends on how old you are and what NBA you are used to. I think that's really the answer.
Chris, what do you think? Good or bad that we have a seventh different champion this season?
It's spicy for this reason. We get to watch Reggie Miller, and as a Jordan kid, I can say this. I can't wait to see him have to watch his team choke to the Knicks of all teams on TNT for
Reggie
his final
v.
broadcast.
Spike.
Can have I ever told you guys this? That I went to college with Reggie. He was at UCLA when I was there.
Another reason for me not to like him.
I was
the UCLA part, not that he went to college with you.
Yeah, I was blown away by his range. You know, people talk about Steph's range. Reggie was Steph before Steph.
Right.
He could, in practice, he would dribble the ball across half court and shoot it. And 8 out of 10 times he'd go in from like 40 feet. Now, they didn't let him shoot those shots because back then there was no three-point line, so, he could move up.
Right.
But I would have loved to have seen Reggie. And if you've seen Reggie lately, he looks like he can still play. He's in great shape. Matter of fact, his son, Ryder, is like a chip off the block. He's got a kid that's a really good athlete, really good football player. People forget, Reggie might have been the worst athlete in his own family.
Oh, Cheryl Miller was great.
Cheryl was, at the time, who's Reggie's older sister, the best women's player in the world. And their older brother, Daryl, was a Major League Baseball player, was a catcher for the Angels, who Reggie and Cheryl both say was the best athlete in the family. But I'm a big Reggie Miller guy. Love him. He's going to NBC so he's going to keep doing games. But, Chris, I love the fact that he may have to go into the Garden and call games, and
amazing.
Spike's going to be yelling at him the whole time.
It's going to be so good.
Yeah, all right. So I promise we'll get to this story about the guy who's auctioning off all his stuff. It's somebody we all liked. It's somebody we all know. And one of the rare people in the world where I actually would like something from his collection. I'll tell you who it is next. Mason in Ireland, ESPN LA.
You never have to miss a moment of LA's mega sports station. Get the all-new ESPN LA app.
Just search ESPN LA in your App Store or Google Play.
Download, tap, and bam!
You've got 710 ESPN in the palm of your hand.
At Children's Hospital Los Angeles, we're a nationally recognized leader in pediatric care, honored by U.S. News and World Report as one of the best in the country. Here, we achieve amazing breakthroughs that change lives. From groundbreaking cancer therapies that offer new hope to young patients, to advanced heart procedures that save lives, we partner with families to conquer challenges and achieve extraordinary outcomes. Choose the best care for your child at chla.org.
Hey guys, have you checked out the all-new Park West Bicycle Casino? With a new owner, fresh renovations, and upgraded amenities, it's a whole new way to experience LA's premier table game casino. From poker, blackjack, ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Baccarat, they've got all the action for ESPN LA listeners. Brand new players who sign up for their Players Reward get $30 in match play. Just say, Cappy sent me to get $30 in match play. Park West Bicycle Casino.
Please gamble responsibly. Problemgambling.ca.gov. 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGR-001291. GEAR-001292. GEAR-001298. BSIS license number 1358.
Ever feel like the road is out to... Thankfully, Hyundai is always working to...
Hey, it's Travis. Join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their one-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Harin, Peter O'Malley, and more. Giveaways in the amazing art of Dave Hobrick. Purchase your tickets for meet and greets at legendsattic.com. We'll see you Friday, May 30th at Legends Attic in Claremont.
New customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ. That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job, and software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades, with purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan. We are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
Quarter after 2 o'clock on a live imaging Tuesday on Mason and Ireland. Oh, yeah, you're playing that keyboard. Little Doobie Brothers, Michael McDonald up front. God, it's good.
Remember when the What's Happening gang snuck into the Doobie Brothers concert with that massive tape recorder trying to bootleg the concert?
I don't.
Oh, this was a great episode. We learned about the dangers to the music industry that come with bootlegging.
Do you know, speaking of bootlegging, real quick, DeMarco told a story that he wanted a copy of The Matrix so bad that they went to a motel or a hotel, rented a room, and he brought a VCR so they could tape it off the premium channel.
It's got to be an easier way to do it.
But back then, maybe not in the late 90s.
You guys notice now?
No, I lived in the late 90s. There was an easier way to do it.
Well, maybe you needed a motel anyway.
Ever since I started traveling with a Fire Stick, when I go to these hotels,
heard about this.
What I've realized is, like I was telling you guys earlier, you want to watch Boss that I just told you about, the Kelsey Grammer Show. You just type in how to stream Boss stars, and within 5 minutes you can get anything.
Right.
Absolutely anything. It's the greatest time alive to be watching
That
television.
is true.
Okay, so every once in a while you'll have somebody enter your life that is one of one. There aren't too many people like that, but Bill Walton certainly fits that description. I used to do sidelines for Clipper games, and then I used to have Bill as a regular guest on my old Fox Sports radio show, and Bill was just one of one. There's nobody else like him. His estate is auctioning off all of his old stuff.
Wow.
And so, Andy, and when I say all of it, there's some of this stuff, like his first rim that he had in his house in the 1950s, you can have for $260. His Letterman jacket from Helix High School that he wore in high school.
That's a perfect name, by the way, for a Bill Walton high school, Helix High School.
Yeah.
Perfect.
$866. A scrapbook, all of his school yearbooks, autographed basketball with all of his high school teammates, all of his high school awards, his class ring. I mean, and then it runs all the way through UCLA Most Valuable Player Award in 1972. You can have that for $900.
His driver's license.
Right. His watch. I asked you to go his sport coat that he wore in the 70s when Wooden made him wear coats and ties. His Outstanding College Player of the Year award. I'm not a memorabilia guy. I'm just not. But there's at least 15 things on here that I would love to have, like this. John Wooden handwritten and autographed greeting card to Bill Walton's father. I can get it for $218.
So to Luke's grandfather,
Right.
this was written to.
I can get it for $218. I'm thinking about getting it. It's just a personal note of thanks from Coach Wooden. Andy, of all the things that are on here, what caught your eye?
Well, I would look. It said that there were some Grateful Dead items, and Bill Walton, I know this because years ago I was working with a charity called IMBCR. They're about trying to find research and cures for blood cancers, and I helped organize this raffle where the winner would end up having a dinner at Bill Walton's house in San Diego, and I ended up going to this dinner at Bill Walton's house, which was incredible.
That's awesome.
He did exactly what anybody who would win this dinner would want, which is Bill Walton held court for the entire thing.
Right.
Nobody else spoke. He spoke for like 5 straight hours, which
That's awesome.
is what you want.
No, of course.
But tour of his house, Bill Walton was, probably the most famous deadhead ever. He had a bunch of their instruments, including like at least one of, I want to say, Mickey Hart's drum sets, one of the 2 Grateful Dead drummers. That is the thing I would want as both a music fan and somebody that grew up playing drums. If that was on the auction ledger, that's what I would want.
Walton was so unique that I remember I'm friends with these 4 guys who started this charity called West Coast Sports Associates. They realized, these are all Manhattan Beach guys, they realized that as they drove around the city, particularly the inner city, there were no fields, no baseball. Eric Davis and Darryl Strawberry have talked about this. No baseball fields. It was all concrete. So these guys go into inner cities or go into impoverished areas, and they set up fields and hoops and stuff like that. So shout out to Alan Lynch and Mike Rosenberg and Chip Eggers and Mike Gottlieb, the 4 guys I know who started this. But their big fundraiser every year, Roy Firestone is on their advisory board. So Roy comes and interviews a big name. They get a big name every year. They've had Pete Carroll. They've had Jack Nicklaus. They've had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So one year they get Walton. And Alan invites me to the dinner. And Walton gets there an hour early so you can take pictures with him. And Roy's supposed to interview Bill for 45 minutes. And then he hangs around afterwards. Bill stayed for 2 hours. After Roy was done with all his questions, Bill started asking Roy questions. He stayed and talked to everybody who would talk to him. He was the most gracious host. And anytime somebody asked for, hey, Bill, would you come have lunch with me and my friends? Make a $500 donation to the charity, and I'm in.
$500,
yeah.
I'm in.
And then,
that was a good Bill Walton.
Thank you.
And so I would love to have anything of Bill's.
No,
anything.
I mean, again, this dinner that I had as part of this charitable organization, it was so much, even as somebody who has, because I'm in this industry, I've been around a lot of athletes. I've seen some cool stuff. You sometimes, I don't want to say you get jaded, but it becomes normalized. This was one of those, oh, really? This is cool. And again, he could not have been better in just knowing everybody wants to hear Bill Walton's stories. And that's all he did the whole time, on top of throwing this just incredible dinner, great spread, all of it.
That's awesome.
How about this? Portland Trailblazers team autograph basketball from the year they won the title. So it's got every player on there. $471.
His driver's license, the current bid is $95. Do you know what he's listed at? This was from a license that expired in 1999. 6'11", 235, red hair, green eyes.
Bob Cousy, handwritten letter to Bill Walton. If you just Google Bill Walton auction, you will see all this stuff.
Bob Cousy, legend.
I mean, it would be so great to have some of this stuff. Man, I can't. And, Luke is now, do you think Luke ever gets another head coaching job? He's had 2. He coached the Lakers and the Kings.
I don't think so. I mean, never say never. The NBA.
It helps that he's the lead assistant now in Detroit, and they're having a really good year.
It feels to me, based on some of the successes that Luke has had and has not, that he probably fits more as a high lead assistant than a head coach. And by the way, there's no shade. Mike Brown has been that way off and on a lot in his career.
Right.
Mike Brown is somebody, regardless of what you think of him as a head coach, I would want that guy on my staff in a heartbeat. He's great at that stuff.
He has, Andy, they have 15 Grateful Dead posters that Walton is donating for this auction that would just be unbelievable.
The drum set and all the musical equipment that Bill had from the Grateful Dead, that stuff was amazing. Amazing.
Bill Walton tie-dye Rock and Roll Hall of Fame T-shirt. I mean, come on. His vintage Grateful Dead jacket. Any of this stuff would be...
Gifted to me from Jerry Garcia himself.
Any of this stuff would be spectacular. In Celtic City, they tell a story about how the one year Walton came to play for the Celtics. He was there for 2 years, but the second year he was hurt. He took the whole Celtics team, Bird, McHale, Parrish, all of them, backstage to a Grateful Dead concert. And as soon as they got there, McHale said, next thing we know, we're on stage. And by the way, you never needed passes. As long as you were with Bill, you just followed him.
It's hard to imagine who from those Celtics feels least in place on stage with the Dead.
Yeah,
there's a lot of front runners.
But if you want to own a piece of Bill Walton's history, it's all out there and available to you. All right, as you may or may not know, it appears that every Major League Baseball stadium is in competition with every other to come up with the most disgusting, over-the-top, ridiculous, gluttonous food item. You don't believe me? Stay tuned. I'll share some with you next. ESPN LA.
Okay, this is the time of the show, Andy, where I talk about my home away from home in downtown LA. Cappy's home, too, the East Central Hotel. Mm-hmm. The biggest hotel rooms in downtown LA. You could fit the entire all of us in there, and we wouldn't even touch. That's how big the hotel rooms are. Here's the other thing: softest towels in downtown. Towels, like you get the big towel. I use that out of the shower, but then the middle towel, not the washcloth, the middle towel I use for my privates only.
Mm-hmm.
That's how great the towels are at East Central Hotel.
So about the size of one of the Pro Baller cans is what you're saying.
Anyway, yes, but it used to be. But, I've had a lot of issues. Anyway, the East Central Hotel is a contemporary hotel with an authentic L.A. vibe. Now, you got the Nixo Lounge over there. If you're in downtown L.A. for an event, a concert, you don't want to get behind the wheel. Don't drink and drive, kids. What you do is you go get yourself a room at the East Central Hotel. Tell them you know Scott Kaplan or Chris Morales at ESPN LA. They'll put you in the Cappy penthouse, which is a nice penthouse. Do you want to comment on that? You can bring a Pro Baller can with you if you need an accoutrement. You can bring a picture of Cappy, too.
I might need extra energy if you're going to be with Cappy all night.
Well, yeah, Cappy can go all night.
Mm-hmm.
East Central Hotel, the home of entertainment. The general manager over there, Robert Montez, he always takes care of us. And if you mention, hey, Robert, I need some Pro Baller, or hey, Robert, you got a picture of Cappy we can use for a few hours? He'll hook
Does
you up.
Cappy have signed photos over at the East Central?
Not yet, but we're working on it. We should have that.
You really
or
should.
How about a Cappy sculpture in a room? A full sculpture. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Everything. The whole Michigash.
Nice. Yes.
Anyway, do you like that? How I said Michigash? I said it right. We did a whole training
Well, it
last
is
week.
insanity.
Yes. East Central Hotel. EastCentralHotel.com. Call them 213-748-1291. Book your next stay at EastCentralHotel.com. East Central Hotel, entertainment's official address and my home away from home.
Sedano and Cap.
Today at 3 p.m. after Mason and Ireland.
I felt so stupid today. I went running to the bathroom. And I was like, I gotta go, man. And there were two people in both stalls, so there was nowhere to go.
That happened to me yesterday.
And who eventually walks out is Mace. And I look at him and I go, oh, no laptop? Like, I don't know why. That was like the first thing that came to my mind,
So actually what happened to me, Alex is a security guard, and I walked in at the same time. I said, hey, Alex, what's going on? And then he, there's the urinals, and then there's the stalls.
Right.
He walked past the urinals with me, and I went, are you deucing? Because we don't need to go side by side.
Seriously?
And he said, yeah. I said, I'm going to leave for 5-10 minutes. You do your thing. I don't want to be like deucing, and I don't want to be connected like
You don't
that.
want to do a double deuce?
Not a double deuce.
Really?
Sedano's back. Sedano's back.
Oh, I thought he quit.
Were you deucing? Or
No.
Oh.
I was on the phone.
With who?
Oh.
The LA Afternoon Takeover. That's Sedano and Cap.
On 710 ESPN.
Memorial Day at Morongo is so much fun that after Monday, I'm taking off Tuesday. And now the top reasons to visit Morongo.
Memorial Day freebie. Get a free red, white, and blue hydration bottle the 26th.
Number 2.
Neo, live June 20th. Get tickets now.
And the number 1 reason.
We're giving away a Ford Mustang Mach-E. Earn entries now playing table games. And you could drive off in a Mustang the 31st.
Morongo, good times.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Just saying, he didn't seem that energetic. 2:30 p.m. on a live imaging Tuesday. On Mason and Ireland, Andy sitting in for Mace, who's in Hawaii on the Big Island, doing big things with his tricep muscles in Instagram post. I'm just saying.
Maybe he and Juan are reminiscing.
Like with the Little River Band playing in the background? By the way, you know a high school senior who's a leader, a scholar, and an athlete? Any of those three, by the way. Nominate them for the ESPN LA All-Star Student presented by Rotolo Chevrolet. 5 winners, $500 scholarships, VIP treatment at our All-Star Friday event on Friday, July 11th. Nominate your All-Star Student today at ESPNLA.com. Thanks to Rotolo Chevrolet. the #1 Chevy dealer in the Western region. 13 years in California once again. Oh, 13. The copy's not great. Come see what all the fun is about at Rotolo Chevrolet. Who wrote this stuff?
You remind me of, I was watching Major League, the old movie, the other night, and
So good.
Bob Uecker's reading.
I don't know, but this copy's not good.
Reading spots, he sounded like Chris did right there. Hell with it.
Dynamite dropped in money.
That movie, that's my favorite baseball movie. That is my favorite of every baseball movie that's ever been made.
It's very, very good. The sequel's not as good, but the first one, very, very good. All right, so you guys know, because you go to a lot of baseball games, a lot of sporting events, that a food war has broken out. A food war between stadiums. In other words, every baseball stadium is trying to one-up the other stadium. So I'm just going to read some of the things that are now available. It's turned into a pretty ridiculous contest of over-the-top food items. You tell me, willing to try it or not, okay? Chicago White Sox, the Celebration Cake Shake, okay? It has birthday cake and ice cream combined.
Okay.
With pieces of confetti cake, a pinwheel cookie, a maraschino cherry on top, all in one giant shake glass. This is what it looks like. Would you try that?
Yeah, I would try that. It's ice cream and cake. Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
that is so much sugar in it, Chris, that you and I would drop dead.
Well, a lot of things could make me drop dead. These days, so.
Low bar to clear these days.
233, by the way.
All right. How about dessert nachos in Colorado? Fried flour tortillas that have been tossed in cinnamon sugar, topped with powdered sugar and caramel, then served with fresh berries and a giant
that sounds really good.
of whipped cream.
That sounds great. It's basically churros with accoutrement.
All right. In Houston.
That sounds really good.
The Daddy Mac dog.
Well,
okay.
I've done things with the dog and Cappy and I. So
yeah, but this, Chris, is a whole lot of disgusting. Foot long.
So was that.
Angus beef hot dog topped with chopped brisket, mac and cheese, barbecue sauce, and dill pickles.
How do you get that whole thing in your mouth?
As they say, holy clogged arteries, Batman.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Okay.
I don't like hot dogs. I wouldn't eat that.
You don't like any hot dogs?
Nope.
Not even like at a ball? You didn't do Dodger dogs as a kid?
I don't like hot dogs, period.
Oh, okay. Who knew?
All right.
You now.
Blue velvet whoopie pie.
Well, that's velvet.
Okay.
With that velvet?
Exactly what it sounds like. It looks like like a marshmallow pie, except it's blue velvet cake.
Who doesn't like a whoopie pie?
All right, Chris, this looks pretty disgusting.
Well,
wow.
The slugger dog.
Oh, a slugger dog.
All right, here's a picture of the slugger
So far,
dog.
John, I mean, other than that, that doesn't look good.
All right.
What's that green stuff squirted all over?
That's a very good question. It's a corn. It's a corn dog.
I'm not a big corn dog guy.
Okay. Chorizo and manchego cheese, then dipped in tempura batter on a Cool Ranch Dorito crust.
Bam!
And drizzled with, to answer your question, avocado aioli. All right.
It's a lot of stuff for no reason.
How about this?
Yeah.
This is served inside of a Yankee helmet. Okay?
Oh, that's the tiramisu thing, right?
Yeah. It's a tiramisu dessert
lot of
inside
brown
of an
powder.
actual regulation size Yankee helmet.
Why is there so much brown powder on it?
Because, Chris, it's all about decadence.
Oh.
Well, it's also, too, what all of this is really about is going viral.
All right. How
That's
about this,
purely
Andy?
about going viral.
You and I could go viral if you want.
Quesadilla. S'mores quesadilla.
I don't like
you
marshmallows.
can get that in Philly. All right.
It's a lot for why. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
You're going to pay a lot for marshmallows.
Chris, you're kind of item here in Pittsburgh. Polish cannonballs, fried bites of delicious.
I think we're going to do that
egg
East Central
noodles,
tonight.
kielbasa, and cabbage.
I'll give you a Polish cannonball
with bacon and cheddar cheese.
That does not sound terrible.
It doesn't sound terrible, but
does
it's
not sound
All right.
terrible.
I can't eat it right now.
How
in
about
my current
how
heart
about
condition.
you can't eat 90% of these things?
Well,
chipped ham empanadas. All
I bet
right.
that's good.
How about miso ramen? And
Shouts out.
yeah. 2 delicious new-looking noodle bowls at Oracle Park. Ichiro wings. Wings that are drenched in sesame glaze.
Oh, that's okay.
And a clubhouse chicken formulated. All right, I'm not going to say that word.
You could say it. It's
How
okay.
about this, Chris?
Yes.
A what's up corn dog.
Why's it got to be green like that?
That's a very fair question.
It's so green.
They say it's Mariners blue.
Oh, that's not Mariners.
Honey battered with a spicy crunch and served with nacho cheese.
All right.
Now, the last one.
Okay.
The Boomstick Burrito.
Bam!
All right. This is available where the Rangers play in Arlington, Texas.
Fittingly near a cemetery.
A 26-inch tortilla that's filled with rice, beans, taco meat, nacho cheese, pico de gallo, lettuce, and sour cream.
That's a burrito.
I was going to say that.
It also has a 24-inch loaded hot dog, a burger, and a Boomstick triple play, which combines the hot dog, hamburger, and nachos.
So basically, it's an appetizer platter.
You're going to need that boomstick for the triple play.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
You know what I'm saying, Andy?
Again, John.
And these are all expensive, by the way.
Of course they are.
They're all super expensive, but in that same article, there was a quote from the VP of Fan Experience, Malcolm Rogel, with the Mariners. This is the sentence that gives it all away. Once we started to see things go viral on the food side, that really changed everyone's thinking. Obviously, they want the food to taste good if you're paying for it. The real thing is, it's a competition for the attention economy.
It's for the gram, people.
Yeah, it's all for the gram. It's it's like maybe 25% foodie culture, 75% going viral.
That's why Cappy and I share food a lot of times.
Yes.
It's all for the gram.
Absolutely.
We don't do it just because we like each other.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to make history on the Mason and Ireland Show. It's time for Game of Games, and hosting today's game for the first time ever.
Wow.
Is our friend Jacob Imrani. We challenged him last week to come up with a game. He has done it. He has answered the challenge. I have no idea if it's any good. But we will play it next. Jacob hosting Game of Games, Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
Hey guys, double down with me in my first ever $10,000 blackjack tournament. It's going to happen on June 6th at the Bicycle Casino. You know it, the Park West Bicycle Casino, 888 Bicycle Casino Drive in Bell Gardens. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a live broadcast from 3 to 6. But when you walk in, I want you to say, double down with Cappy. You go to the Players Reward Desk and you get your free entry into the tournament, which is going to start at 7 o'clock that night. Remember, it's June 6th. Double down with Cappy is going to get you a free entry into the tournament, which you're going to need to get because I'm telling you, this thing's going to fill up real fast. Live radio, real cards, big prizes, very limited seats. So lock yours in now. RSVP for more information for all the details on the tournament at ESPNLA.com.
Hey, it's Travis. Join us Friday, May 30th from 9 a.m. to noon at Legends Attic in Claremont as we celebrate their one-year anniversary and kick off the Freddie Freeman World Series Game 1 Walk-Off Grand Slam Ball Tour. Plus, Oral Hershiser hosting special guests, Dodgers voice Joe Davis, Steve Sachs, Rick Monday, Jaime Harin, Peter O'Malley, and more. Giveaways in the amazing art of Dave Hobrick. Purchase your tickets for meet and greets at legendsattic.com. We'll see you Friday, May 30th at Legends Attic in Claremont.
To buy a car and I need to save money. Well, my friend, I've got one answer for you. The Cerritos Auto Square. It's America's largest auto mall. 24 dealerships, all the top brands, all in one easy location right here in SoCal. And here's the secret. These dealers sell more cars than anyone because they have low prices. And they can actually afford low prices because they sell so many cars. Check it out at CerritosAutosquare.com.
Cerritos Auto Square.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text STAPLE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text STAPLE to 321-321. That's STAPLE to 321-321.
710 ESPN.
And it is time for Game of Games on the #1 sports radio show in LA, Mason and Ireland.
Game of Games.
Game of Games presented by CallJacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but CallJacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to CallJacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle.
Call Jacob.
Thank you. Game of Games time. Take it away, Mace.
All right, no Mace today. Andy Kamenetsky filling in for him. But our friend Jacob Emrani is here. And Jacob, for the first time ever, you will host Game of Games. How long did it take you to prepare this game?
It took a couple of hours.
Okay, but fun, annoying? How did you find it?
So it was a team effort.
The family got involved?
No, me and my staff, my team here. And we wanted to make it fun. We wanted to have some law related to it.
Okay.
And hope at the end you're going to give me a thumbs up.
Okay, so 4 players, Brian Cohen, Laura Romo, Andy Kamenetsky, and me. Jacob, what's the theme of the game?
So the theme of the game is athletes and legal issues.
Oh, good. Good idea. Okay, go ahead. What's question 1?
So the first question is, what team doctor was sued for medical malpractice by an NFL player after a painkiller injection went wrong? Now, what team?
Okay.
Which team's doctor? Is it the Dallas Cowboys? Is it the LA Chargers? Or is it the New England Patriots?
All right, Brian, Cowboys, Chargers, or Patriots?
The Chargers.
Laura.
Well, that's his team, so I'll go with that. Chargers.
Andy.
I think it actually is the Chargers.
I think it was Tyrod Taylor. It was a punctured lung, and it is the Chargers.
That is correct.
Okay, everybody's on the board. 1-1. Okay, Jacob, what's question 2?
What former #1 pick sued a team doctor again for a misdiagnosed injury that ended his career? Was it Markelle Fultz?
It's a real light game you brought us, Jacob.
Was it Markelle Fultz, Derrick Rose, or Greg Oden?
Laura.
Oh, Oden.
I'm also going to say Oden. Andy.
Fultz.
Brian.
Oden.
Oden is correct.
Okay, so everybody but Andy got that.
Has it been that
one.
easy so far?
It's not too bad. Not too bad. Number 3.
All right. Number 3. Who was the first active NFL player to be suspended indefinitely for gambling on games? Is it Antonio Brown? Is it Ray Rice? Or is it Calvin Ridley?
I go first on this one. I don't know the answer, but I don't think it's Rice. I'm going to go Ridley. Andy.
Ridley.
Brian.
Ridley.
Laura.
With the crowd, Ridley.
That is correct.
All right, everybody got it. So Brian, John, Laura have 3. Andy has 2. All right, Andy, you go first on this one.
Again, lots of lawsuits going on. Okay. Who was the first NBA player to publicly sue the league over denied mental health accommodations? Was it Ron Artest, Delonte West, or Royce White?
Royce White.
Brian.
Delonte West.
Laura.
I'm also going West.
I'm also going to go Royce White. Who is it?
Royce White.
Okay, so I take the lead. Andy, you've caught Laura and Brian. I have 4. Everybody else has 3. All right, Jake, what's the next one?
All right, let's.
How many questions total do you have?
I have a lot.
Okay.
So you just tell me when you want me to stop.
No, we'll keep going. It's good. It's good so far.
Yes. So the next one, let's lighten up a little bit. In the 1992 hip-hop classic, It Was a Good Day by Ice Cube, which team does he mention that the Lakers beat? Was it the Pistons? Was it the Celtics? Or was it the Supersonics?
Brian.
Sonics.
Laura.
Supersonics.
Andy.
Supersonics.
I'll go with the crowd. Is it Sonics?
That is correct.
Okay, everybody's got it. So I have
It rhymed
5.
with chronic.
Everyone else has 4.
That's right. All right. Let's see. Let's go to the next one. I got a lot here.
Okay.
Let's go and do some LAFC.
Okay.
Who scored the winning goal for LAFC in the 2022 MLS Cup final penalty shootouts?
Okay.
Is it Garrett Bale? Is it Ilya Sanchez? Or is it Kellen Acosta?
Laura.
Acosta.
Andy.
Sanchez.
I think it's Acosta. Brian.
Sanchez.
And the answer is Sanchez.
Okay. Brian got it and Andy got it. So 3-way tie for first. John, Andy, Brian. Laura has 4. What's the next one?
The next one is, what year did the LA Kings win their first Stanley Cup? Was it in 2010, 2012, or 2014?
Andy, Brian, and I are all tied. Brian.
2012.
Andy.
Repeat it one more time, please.
What year did the Kings...
No, I meant the years.
2010, 2012, and 2014.
12.
I also think it's 12. Laura?
With the crowd, 12.
That is correct. Man, I can't stop anybody.
No, that's okay. Laura has 5, and everyone else has 6.
All right.
Let's do... You have 5 more?
I do.
Okay, we'll do 5 more, and then tiebreaker if we need it.
You got it. Let's do some pop culture.
Okay.
What famous rapper once settled a lawsuit over a thrown microphone? Was it Kanye West, Cardi B, or Travis Scott?
Andy.
Travis Scott?
Brian.
Cardi B.
I also think it's Cardi B. Laura.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 50 Cent, but Cardi B.
That is correct. Cardi B. She was involved in an incident where a fan was hit with a mic during a performance.
Okay, so Brian and John have 7. Laura and Andy have 6. There are 4 questions left. Okay.
Which actor was involved in a serious car crash with a Walmart truck and received a massive insurance payout? Was it Kevin Hart, Paul Walker, or Tracy Morgan?
I'm going to go Tracy Morgan. Brian.
Kevin Hart.
Laura.
I will go Tracy Morgan.
Andy.
It is Tracy Morgan.
It is Tracy Morgan.
Okay, so everybody but Brian got that.
He won a multi-million-dollar settlement after being hit by a Walmart truck.
Okay, John has 8. Brian, Laura, Andy all have 7. Ooh. There are 3 questions left, so I have to go first.
Nice.
In what year did the Dodgers first wear the L.A. cap logo? So when did they introduce the L.A. on their caps? Is it 1958, 1963, or 1959? 58, 59, 63.
I know when they came to L.A., but I'm gonna take a shot here and say it's 63. Andy.
Unfortunately, that's what I wanted to say, but I got to go opposite.
You don't yet.
Not
but
yet? Oh.
You have 3 left, and you're down 1.
I'm going to say 63 then.
Brian.
59.
Laura.
I also want to go 59.
1958.
Oh, we all missed it.
They introduced the LA cap immediately upon moving to LA.
Oh, didn't know. Okay,
Nice trick
2
question.
questions left. I still have a 1-point lead over everybody.
All right, let's go to the next one. In 2004, who did the Lakers draft with the pick acquired in the Shaquille O'Neal trade? In 2004, who did the Lakers draft the pick that was acquired in the Shaquille O'Neal trade?
Okay.
Was it Brian Cook? Was it Jordan Farmar? Or was it Sasha Vujacic?
All of those are good choices. I'm going to go Brian Cook. Andy.
Sasha.
Laura.
I'll go Sasha.
Brian.
Cook.
Sasha.
Oh, we got a tie. Okay, Laura, you went Sasha there, right?
I did.
All right, so here's the deal. Laura 8, John 8, Andy 8, Brian 7. This is the last one, but you have extra questions if we need them?
I do.
Okay, so this could be the last one if someone wins it. If not, we'll just keep going. All right, here we go.
All right. The hit song Blurred Lines was found to infringe on the copyright of which Marvin Gaye song? Is it Sexual Healing? Is it Let's Get It On? Or is it Got to Give It Up?
Laura.
Don't hate me because I'm probably going to get it wrong, but got to give it up.
Andy.
Got to give it up.
I think it is Got to Give It Up. Brian, that leaves you with the other two.
Yeah, what was the second one you said?
It was Let's Get It On.
Let's go with that one. Let's get it on.
The answer is Gotta Give It Up.
Okay.
Blatantly infringed on it, I
Yeah,
might
if you
add.
listen to the beginning of those two songs.
When I
throw
first
anybody
heard it,
off, huh?
I thought it was like a cover of it or a reimagining
Right,
of it. It was
right.
so obvious.
Okay, so we have a three-way tie. We could go to the tiebreaker, or we could do a couple more questions. You got a couple more?
I do.
All right, let's do it.
All right, Brian, you're still alive.
All right. Argentine soccer superstar Lionel Messi was convicted in Spain of what financial crime in 2016? Was it bribery, money laundering, or tax fraud?
Andy.
Tax fraud.
I'm also going tax fraud. Laura.
Tax fraud.
All right, Brian, that leaves you money laundering, or what was the other one, Jacob?
It was money laundering,
bribery,
or
Okay,
tax
you want to
fraud.
go money laundering or bribery, Brian?
Bribing.
It is tax fraud.
Okay, so Brian, now you're out.
Sorry, Brian.
All right, three-way tie. Let's go to the tiebreaker, Jacob.
So I have one where you guys can write it down.
Yeah.
All right,
Let's
let's
do that
go
one.
with that.
Andy, you got something to write down,
Yeah,
right
I'll
with, right on. Laura, you got something to write with?
How? Let me know when you're ready.
All right, everybody ready? Andy, you ready?
Ready.
Laura, you ready? Okay, here we go.
How many lawsuits have been filed against the NFL related to concussion injuries by former players?
Okay. By former players.
How many lawsuits have
All
been
right,
filed?
I got a number. Laura, you got one?
Okay, now I do.
All right, what'd you write down, Laura?
3,700.
3,700?
Yeah.
Andy, what'd you write down?
35,000.
I wrote 222.
4,500.
Laura!
Oh, yeah.
Victory! Way to go!
4,500. Mine was 3,700.
Yeah, but you were close. I was low and Andy was high.
Woo, woo.
Way
I
to
won
go.
yesterday,
Jacob,
too.
that game was excellent.
Thank you. I got to give
Well
a lot
done.
of credit to Alberto as part of my team. He was very, very helpful. And,
Very proud of you.
Thank you.
Well
I appreciate
done.
it. Thank you.
Now, did you miss playing because you had to host, or did you enjoy hosting?
Honestly, I think I was more nervous hosting than when I'm playing. so
Playing
this was
because
fun.
everybody's,
Just remember, your game will be better than Momo's. Just always remember that.
Oh, shots fired at Momo.
Yeah, well,
She'd be the first to say it.
yeah.
That's
Well,
true.
Momo's games are either really good or really bad. There's never any. They're kind of like the Lakers, Jacob. It's a really good season, or we crash and burn.
I love that.
All right, so who do you like tonight? We've got the game on ESPN LA. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder hosting Anthony Edwards and the Wolves. You've seen both teams play in person. Who do you like?
I got to tell you, I like the Wolves.
A lot of people do.
And I am, even though I'm not really a fan of anybody who's still left, but I kind of think it would be pretty exciting to see the Wolves play the Knicks. They ended up having a trade where they exchanged players.
And one of the rare trades, Andy, that actually worked out for both teams.
Both of them. And they're both
Karl
in Western
Anthony
Conference.
Towns has been great for the Knicks. DiVincenzo and Randall have been great. Now, what's interesting about this Final Four that's in the NBA, there is one ex-Laker on all four teams.
Wow.
So tonight in Minnesota, Julius Randle used to play for the Lakers, and Alex Caruso used to play for the Lakers. He's on the Thunder. On the other side, New York has Josh Hart, and Indiana has Thomas Bryant.
Two-time ex-Laker.
Yeah.
Thomas Bryant.
They asked, the social team yesterday asked us, which ex-Laker are you rooting for the most? I just said the first thing that popped into my head, which was Randall, because Randall was such a great guy when he was here. Not that the other three guys weren't.
Of course.
But Randall, I actually have this a weird quirk of being me. I don't have that many professional athletes' numbers in my phone, but I have Josh Hart's and I have Julius Randall's because we were all in the same fantasy football league.
That's awesome.
Like 10 years ago. And I'd get a text at like 10 o'clock at night. Hey, John, it's Julius. Hope you're good,
awesome.
man. Will you trade me, Michael Vick for Matt Stafford?
All four of those guys were really cool. Randall and Hart, I got to know better covering them. Really liked them a lot. Caruso was a good dude. Part of me wants Caruso to get this ring just because it was such a mistake letting him go. It becomes a reminder for the front office to stay sharp. But then I would love to see Randall or Hart get their first rings. That would be really cool.
By the way, sidebar. Laura, is she still back there? Hey, Laura, have you won 3 games in a row?
I have. Yesterday,
Wow.
Friday, and today.
What's the score now?
Just saying. Ireland 6, Laura 4, Brian 2, DeAndre 1, Bergman 1, Trudell 1.
And next week, they're all going to Worth Double. You could catch me.
I could beat you.
Yeah, I know. You could catch me. Jacob, it was a great game.
Thank
Very
you.
well done. Thank
Appreciate
you.
you.
Always
Thank you.
great to see
Great
you.
to see you guys.
Coming up next, little Super Crosstalk, ESPN LA.
You never have to miss a moment of LA's mega sports station. Get the all-new ESPN LA app.
Just search ESPN LA in your App Store or Google Play.
Download, tap, and bam!
You got 710 ESPN in the palm of your hand.
Are you looking for a trusted roofing expert in Southern California? Journey Builders has you covered. This is Mike Trudell from ESPN LA. Journey Builders specializes in quality roof replacements for homes around the Southland. They'll ensure that your roof stands strong. ESPN LA listeners who call in today to book their free same-day inspection get $5,500 off their roof replacement. Journey Builders also offers financing. Call 888-607-8808 today. That's 888-607-8808 or go to journeybuildersinc.com.
Coverage of the 2025 NBA playoffs on ESPN LA is brought to you by Chumba Casino, your favorite online social casino. Play anytime, anywhere for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Head to ChumbaCasino.com and let's Chumba. No purchase necessary. Must be 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, John Ireland here. Laker fans, meet Pro Baller Energy, the official energy drink of the Lakers. It's a natural, healthier alternative loaded with ultra-premium ingredients like organic agave, electrolytes, B vitamins, and natural caffeine. Plus, it's NSF certified for sport. Just clean energy to keep you locked in without the crash or synthetic junk. So go grab yourself the limited edition Lakers can and rep the team in style. Pro Baller Energy, champions choose clean energy.
KSPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Sedano and Cap to join Mason and Ireland?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk. Presented by Coors Light. Coors Light. Made to chill.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
Look who's here. It's our friend Scott Kaplan live and in the flesh. You have a weird show today, Cappy. You're going till 5:30.
Right.
And then after we go to the NBA Western Conference Finals, you're going to stay on the air on YouTube until when? 7?
Till 6 p.m.
Till 6. 5:30 to 6.
Right. And that, John, is where we go uncensored.
Because you're not restricted by FCC rules.
Correct.
Now, I'm a little mad at you about this.
Why? What's wrong?
I think it sets a terrible precedent.
Oh, I agree.
I don't think you should do it.
I totally agree.
So why don't you bail?
Well, I usually wear that bracelet that says WWJD.
Yes.
You know what that stands for?
What would Jesus do?
No. What would George do?
Oh, okay.
What would George Sedano do?
Oh, he would definitely bail.
Right. Well, he did. Right. I mean, game broadcast aside, he did. So Sedano has been fighting this for a long time.
I would fight it with him.
Morales has bullied his way into this, and you know how he is.
Yes, I do.
You know? So you'll notice that what's happened here today is they've pretty much waited till George had to go to a game broadcast
to jam it in.
To bully its way in. Right, exactly. And George yesterday started our show. Of course, I was barely a part of it because we were having all kinds of internet problems.
That's right. I forgot about that.
We're in Tulsa. But George started the show yesterday with, will you guys listen to us or will you watch the game? Will you do both? Whatever. And his point was he thought that most people would say, dude, once the show goes 5:30, I'm off to the game. I'm not hanging out with you guys.
I would agree with him.
And so George is trying to make the point that we should not be doing YouTube-only shows, in particular when we're going head-to-head with a game broadcast on our air.
And isn't he part of said game broadcast?
He is part of said game broadcast
So
on
you're
the
asking
radio.
the Sedano and Cap audience to choose
They gotta pick
between
and choose.
Sedano and Cap.
That's right. That's exactly right. Andy, what would you choose?
It's kind of a Sophie's choice,
Cappy,
Andy.
baby.
Yeah, thank you.
Cappy,
I'm here.
baby,
I'm
all
here.
day, every day.
I'm here. Thank you.
You are here.
Thanks for saying that. I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah.
John, this is not the first time that this has been tried.
I know.
So the first time Morales came into our office one afternoon, and I say ours, I mean yours and mine.
Yeah.
And Sedano and I were in there, and Chris started to lay out the plan of how we're going to start doing YouTube-only features. And Sedano shut it down immediately. And Chris pretty much said at that moment, okay, George, you can shut down your side, but Kaplan, you're doing it. Right? It was pretty much like, I'm
He
afraid
used
of
it
you,
to
George.
divide you.
Right. I'm afraid of you, George. You know, he calls him the Black Hand of 710. he says he saved the radio station. He knows he's in tight with all the GKB people. So Chris pretty much deflects everything off of Sedano, meaning like whatever Sedano says, Chris is fine. Chris says, you're my agent, the whole thing. When it comes to me, Chris wants to bully me around because he feels like he can, whereas he can't with Sedano. Sedano will shut him down and tell him to F off, no problem.
Right.
Me, I'm just like, I'm a go with the flow kind of guy.
Right.
You know? So we did it the day of the NFL draft where we stayed on longer, and now we're coming back to do it today. And he said to me, he goes, I don't care what you do, and I don't care what you say in those 30 minutes that you're exclusively on YouTube. So for me, that means I'm going uncensored.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I will tune in just to see what happens.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Uncensored, Andy.
Wow.
So
wow, that's good.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, the game between the Wolves and the Thunder begins at 5:30, and everybody knows I love the NBA. I'm excited about this game. I might put off the first 30 minutes of that game.
Like, it's only the first quarter.
To hear Cappy uncensored.
Right. I'm going crazy today. I'm losing my mind.
Okay, Cappy, speaking of going crazy.
Yeah.
Who's joining you when at like 3:15?
Beto Duran.
Oh, okay.
And by the way, so is George. George
is going to jump in from Oklahoma.
I believe he'll be in the arena.
Yeah.
He's a man in the arena.
I'm looking at the arena right now. I'm looking at Dave McMenamin and Tim McMahon and everybody getting ready. All right, Cap, we had a discussion earlier. You may have seen this story.
Tell me.
There is a rumor out there being reported by The Athletic,
Okay, about
pretty
what?
reputable source,
Yeah.
that Jordan Hudson and Bill Belichick are engaged to be married.
Okay.
And we brought up the subject of prenuptial agreements. And I think Belichick's family would like to insist that he get one.
Naturally.
My father, when I was getting married, my father, rest his soul, I said to him, Dad, I didn't have a lot of money at the time, but I had some. And I said, should I ask Lisa for a prenup? And my dad laughed at me and he said, yeah, go ahead, see how that goes. He knew what I didn't know is I asked Lisa, she shut it down immediately and didn't talk to me for 2 days.
Oh, my.
But Morales brought up a point that your first marriage, you've talked openly about it, cleaned you out.
Big time.
If you and Rachel were to get married, Chris's thought was that she would insist on a prenup because she might have as much money as you do.
How about way more?
Okay. Would you have an issue if she said, Scott, I appreciate you asking me to marry you. I want to get married, but I want to be responsible here. You need to sign a prenuptial agreement.
Yeah.
You say what?
100%. No problem.
See, I would too.
I feel like after everything you've been through, Cappy, you would almost be disappointed in her if she didn't ask you to
Now,
do
what
this.
advice would you have? Now, the argument I made was it wouldn't have been realistic to ask you to get a prenup the first time because
Right.
how old were you?
I was like 28, 29.
Okay. Because if it's your first marriage, you're not allowed to be jaded yet.
Yeah, right.
And your partner, your prospective spouse will shut you down. Looking back on it, should you have insisted on a prenup?
No, because I didn't come from any money, and I didn't really have very much money. I was...
By the way, John Ireland, no prenup. Michael Thompson, no prenup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So at the time, this is funny you asked this, because at the time, I was about 28 years old. I was engaged, and I worked for a company that was called, at the time, CBSSportsline.com.
I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and what happened is it started out as Sportsline USA. It went to CBS Sportsline and then became CBSSports.com. Well, I was a young kid. I was about 26 years old when I got there. And when they hired me, they paid me. They said, you're going to get paid a salary at the time, $42,500. That's what I made.
Okay.
And they said, but the good news is you're getting stock options at $2 an option. And I was 26 and I didn't know anything about the stock market. I didn't know what stock options really were. What happened is so this is 1996. In 1999, they did a deal at the time with John Elway, Wayne Gretzky, I think Michael Jordan. I'm almost sure it was Michael Jordan. They had an online e-commerce store that the three of them all owned together. I don't remember exactly what it was called. That day, the stock price went from, I want to say, like $58 a share. Now, keep in mind, I have it at $2, right?
Right.
So I'm up $56 a share.
Mm-hmm.
And the stock price went up to like $95 that day. When I tell you, again, remember, this is the late 90s. People were standing at the fax machine, and they were faxing hard copy documentation to the stockbroker types at Bear Stearns, which doesn't even exist anymore, because your $2 option was now at $98. I was on the radio while all this was happening, so there was no getting to a break to go send this to sell any part of it.
Right.
But at that time...
So you just hang on? Do you
right,
just hold
so
on
I
to
hung
yours?
on to it. So that day, all of a sudden, I had like a couple $100,000 on paper, right? But by the time the stock market closed, it went from 55 to like 98, back down to like 57, all up in one day. So even when I got married, I had some money from the stock option.
But you ain't got it no more.
But that thing is long gone. And as a matter of fact, in 1999, or maybe it was 2000, the stock market crashed. And I was so dumb that the price was now at this point, John, it's like $41. And by the time it got down to $11, I was like, oh, it's going to come back. It's going to be fine. Never came back. So let's just say on that particular day, I may have had a couple $100,000. By the time it was done and by the time I sold, I had like $10,000. You know, I lost it all. I lost all the money.
Did he ask you about the prenup?
He did.
That's what we've been talking about.
So here's the thing. So if Rachel and I were to ever get married,
right,
and she said to me, hey,
Scott, sign it, you idiot.
I'd be like, tell me where, babe.
Right.
Oh, 100%.
Now, would you ask for a divorce payout, though, a premium? Kind of like they said in Succession, I want a premium.
Yeah, so let's say hypothetically, you ready? We're dating 6 years.
Would you get one of the houses or something out of it?
Well, I'd like to.
Okay.
I'd like to, yeah.
Like the Mexico house or
right.
something?
But like, think about it. Like, if you go into it as a guy,
right,
and the lady has more,
yeah,
she has more
substantially
assets,
more
right,
than you.
More assets, more net worth, et cetera, et
I
cetera.
think I hear the roar of George Sedano in Oklahoma City.
Oh, yeah. You hear the music, John. You know what this is like. There's people here. Cameras are all rolling. A bunch of news anchors, Sports Center, local TV,
Oh, it's the biggest
NBA
thing to
TV.
hit Oklahoma in years.
You name it. I already, Cappy, you'd be jealous. A-Rod brought it in already.
Oh, man. I want to bring it in with A-Rod.
He's talking to Wendy right now.
Now, George,
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah.
Wouldn't Rachel make Cappy sign a prenup if they ever get married?
Yes. No question.
And wouldn't Cappy be an idiot not to sign it?
Well, wait.
Yeah, but she's actually worth more than him, right?
Way more.
Way more. Substantially.
Oh, my God, way
but
more.
he should
Yeah.
negotiate like Kendall did in Succession. He wanted a premium payout.
Yeah.
Cappy should say, like, I want the Mexico house as
Well,
part of a divorce.
you got to start Cappy right now showing evidence of supporting her lifestyle.
Okay.
Like you had to put your career aside in order to support Rachel's
What
lifestyle.
brought this up,
that's a
Sedano,
problem.
is that there's a story out there that
It's a big problem,
Jordan
Andy.
Hudson and Bill Belichick might be engaged.
I saw that.
And we're talking about prenups. I don't have one. Michael doesn't have one. Do you have one, George?
No.
Yeah, no one I know really has one. Now, Chris, if you get married, are you going to insist on one?
She's got more assets than I do.
So
on
is
paper.
Is she going to insist on one?
No.
Yeah, see, everybody says you got to get a prenup. Nobody gets them.
Yeah.
You know, but Belichick's got to get one,
Oh, no,
right?
but his family's
Cap,
got to
do you
demand
and
it.
I need one for the stuff we do at East Central?
We probably should have one.
Okay.
We probably should. But the thing about Belichick is he's got all these kids that are adults, and those kids are all like, hey, when he dies, that's all coming to us. If he doesn't sign a prenup and he dies and it goes to her, we're all screwed. Screwed.
Right. Yeah, I don't think there's anything they can do while he's alive, right?
Well, somebody better talk some
like an
sense into
intervention.
him.
I'm sure there's going to be talk of an intervention.
She's talking to him.
Yeah.
I would imagine there's a family trust, right? So.
Yeah, it's all about to go to Jordan Hudson.
But what if we don't? What if we're jumping to conclusions and this is all laid out and Bill's just having fun? But there's family trust. There's a prenup. It's all locked up. The boat is in a separate LLC, a shell game. Okay, what if it's all set up? What if Bill has been on hand?
You've seen her, right?
Yeah,
You've seen him, right?
Yeah.
You think she's letting that happen?
She's getting her taste, and he's getting his taste. She puts on those red pants. He likes that.
Let me
Wetting
tell
her
you the
beak?
deal. You
Wetting her beak?
Yeah,
That's what you're
exactly.
saying.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to know how Jordan Hudson wins?
How?
I'm going to tell you real simple how Jordan Hudson wins.
Okay.
She has his baby.
That's the
and
thing.
then that's
And once she has his baby, that's it. Game over.
Yeah.
I have seen this go down before. I had a friend of mine, a woman. She was in her late 40s, very, very attractive. And her husband and her got divorced. Okay, no big deal. She married a guy who was ultra, ultra, ultra wealthy.
You got his number?
I'd marry him.
tried.
81 years old, okay? And by the way, I won't tell you his name, but I'll tell you off the air who
Okay.
it was, and you'll know his name, okay? 81 years old. He takes a sample of his spermazoa, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you for going
Use of
clinical.
the
Cappy.
actual
Right.
clinical phrase.
Right.
Yes.
Then, however they do the in vitro, right? She never had any kids. She's in her late 40s. They impregnate her.
Bam!
Okay?
Wow.
She has the baby about a month after the baby's born. Dude dies.
She gets it all.
Not all of it,
but a lot.
But he had like kids that were older than her.
If I was Jordan Hudson,
they were all like, as long as you take care of us,